We are live. We are back. We back in the place to be. And we doing two shows today. We're doing two shows today. Make sure this is turned down so I can see over here and talk to you here. Right? Gotta keep them both open so I can see. Let me send this text back. I got one more I need to send to. How y'all doing today? Y'all all right? Everything good? How your mama and them? Y'all all right? It's a long delay. It's probably like I want to say like a 30 or 40-second delay. So by the time I say something, y'all will be responding. So it's a long delay. Long. I hope you had a good week. I hope everything's all right. I hope you had fun. I hope you're preparing for this week, right? Christmas is coming up. I hope everybody have their plans for Christmas. Are you gonna have Silent Night? It's gonna be one of those deep ones. Or you gonna have a Mariah Carey Christmas. All I want for Christmas is you. You gonna have one of those, or you don't celebrate Christmas, you celebrate after, right? Or you got your own tradition. One or the two, right? 3, 4, whatever. Hope you had fun. So we didn't meet last week. Well, we did. Oh, good evening. That's actually good morning for me. I'm not sure where you're at, Lisa. What part of the world are you in? Or is good evening a a island thing, right? It could be an island thing. That may be an island thing. You may be right here in the United States, but you could be from somewhere else. So this week we got a lot to cover. We always have a lot to cover. Um, I wanna let me get my tab running here where I want to start it on this video. I think it starts right here. I think it starts at the 1500 mark, but we'll start at the 1400. Well, I'll listen, then I'll go from there. And we'll take it from there. Cool. Good evening, good afternoon, Facebook. D, let me know that it's working now. How y'all doing out there in Facebook? Yeah, H-Town, all right. How y'all doing out there in H-Town? I hadn't been to H-Town since the Falcons. 28-3, and they came back. I don't even want to talk about it. I ain't gonna even get myself depressed. I don't even want to talk about it. I won't even talk about it. Yep. Nuclear fusion changing everything, oil, gas, space, travel. Good day. Good day. I got you. So I know, don't do it, man. D save me. Save me. Because if I go down that route with the Falcons, I'm liable to flip this whole live or just flip my table. So disgusted. So disgusted. KD King, how you doing? How you been? I made liable to flip this table talking about them cotton picking freaking Falcons. How about that? Ain't what I want to say, but yeah, we got It's dry. I was so angry. Still angry. How could you lose that? How could you do it? How? How could you blow this lead? 28-3, looking good, rushing the quarterback. Everybody out there, we doing it. We out. The Atlanta crew there, everybody there. Everybody there. All you had to do was get a first down. That's it. Coach, all you had to do was get a first down. That's it. That's all they had to do was get a first down. But you know what we did? We didn't get a first down. And the rest is history. That's all we had to do. All we had to do was get a first down. I'm back. Just makes me so mad. We stuck with Matt Ryan for so many years. Just bad needs. I was like, oh, I'm back. Matt ran over. So he couldn't. Matt Ryan can't do the good needs challenge. Good needs, good needs. He can't do it. He can't do the. He could never do the good needs challenge, even in his prime. He couldn't do it. Speaking of prime, let's get into some prime. So everybody's been upset about Deion Sanders not staying at Jackson State. Everybody been upset about his departure, right? So he did a press conference yesterday, and I watched it live. And people got reactions on that. Um, so we're gonna get into some things that he said on that, and then we're gonna get into uh some more stuff that I want to bring up in terms of finances, investing, in terms of jobs. I see a lot of people are worried about what's going to happen with the jobs, right? Everybody's worried about what's going on with the jobs, and I'm saying to you, keep focusing on your skills, keep getting your skills up, and you can maneuver. Are people still calling about jobs? Absolutely, absolutely. Um, when I look across the landscape, people still calling jobs about infrastructure. People are still calling jobs about uh, can you work? I get at least 5 phone calls a day. Don't say it's because you got experience. It's not because I have experience. It's because I've focused on honing in on my skills, and I've told you the skills. Right? Focus. Wayne Wallace, how are you doing from Mexico? We appreciate you for stopping by. Right? Focus on your skills. Right? People gonna get hired and fired every day. Hired, fired every single day. Right? Focus on your skills. Right? Cloud is not going anywhere. Linux isn't going anywhere. AI, machine learning, isn't going anywhere. Fintech or banks and maybe how they do banking changes, but banks aren't going anywhere. They still need to maintain people's stuff. So working in the bank on the cloud side, on the security side, it's not going anywhere. It's just not. So you got to figure out which niche you want to be in and what you want to do. That's where you're gonna have to be, right? You got to figure that out for yourself. I can only tell you where things are happening. You got to figure out what you gonna do, right? Rite Aid has a cyber department and a cloud department. Dollar Tree has a cloud and cyber department. It's the same way for CVS, the same way for Walgreens, the same way for Walmart Pharmacy, Walmart Labs. The same way when you start looking at the healthcare and the healthcare agencies, people are going to. We just got to be honest. Live and die. They're gonna birth, live, and die. Those three things are going to happen in life, right? Now they may not be long, but they're gonna happen. You're gonna be birthed, you're gonna live, and you're gonna die. It's just the truth, right? So you got to figure out where you want to be at, right? Do you want to be in the healthcare field, working on cybersecurity? Do you want to be? Go be a mortician. That's one thing you know is guaranteed, right? I'm just telling you, this is surefire way to be recession proof. I'm just being honest with you. All right. So let's get back to Coach Prime. I have a video here. I want to review probably like maybe about, I don't know, I think it's about 5 minutes of it. Um, let me know if y'all can hear this. Hold on. Let me turn my sound up. I may have to put this in another browser. But let me know if y'all can hear this. And if not, then I'll have to port it over to another browser. But I'm gonna just start this part. This is not the part we're gonna be at, but I'm gonna just start this part. And y'all let me know if you can hear.
Head football coach Deion Sanders. Coach will open it up with a statement from you, and after that, we'll follow that up with questions.
First of all, thank the Lord that you all are here. It's a blessing to be here once again. I find it a privilege to be here in celebration.
Okay, you can hear.
It's unbelievable.
All right, cool.
What they created.
I just need to make sure that y'all can hear. Dee said she can hear, so let's get to where I want to start at. All right, cool. All right, so this is what he says here is a sentiment of how I feel about women in Linux itself and the people I introduced to you and the people I surround myself with and the people that hopefully you are surrounding yourself with. If you're not surrounding yourself with people that want to see you do good and succeed, if you're not surrounding yourself around people who don't understand you have your own dreams and aspirations and goals, then those people don't need to be around you. I've always lived by that rule throughout my life. Sometimes it takes, I'll say this, sometimes it takes a lot longer to figure out whether or not that person is good for you or not. Sometimes it be that the person may be too close to you for you to see it. And sometimes you have to take a step back and do an analysis of yourself and see what if the relationship is nurturing from both ends. You should be pouring into your friend, and your friend should be pouring into you. Your mama should be pouring into you just as well as you should be pouring into your mom. It's a mutual, it's an even exchange, right? And sometimes you may have to do a little bit more, right? But I say all that to say you have your own dreams and aspirations. And don't let nobody stop you from that, right? I tell y'all to write down your goal, where you want to be. What is the money want? How much money do you want to make? How much money do you think you're going to need for retirement? We're going to get into all of that today. All right, so let me get to my mark and then we'll start. Let's get this going here. Somebody asked him a question, but I think where I want to be at is at the 1500 mark. But this leads into it. So let's go.
That probably in the pandemic, it was crazy. It was crazy the way our fans reacted. And
yeah, see, somebody had asked him a question. I think where I want to be is somewhere down.
Does a wonderful job. Yes.
Right.
Coach, in regards to what's been saying, what's been going on, I like to give people flowers while they're living.
That's a good thing.
I like to thank you for coming to HBCU.
Thank you.
I like for you to thank you for honoring your word.
Thank you.
I like to thank you for mentoring our kids. And regardless of what anybody say, you always talking about the next level. People fail to realize you aspire to do things too. Mm-hmm. So going to Colorado, I think that's a great idea.
Let's get the cat out of the bag, man. Let's go there and talk about that. You're right on all accounts. I appreciate you. Never once did I say they're going to put a tombstone with my name on it in Jackson State, so I want no die here. Y'all know that. Everything I said I would do, I did. Everything I said I wanted to happen, I tried my darndest to make it happen. We've exceeded, I think, expectations in some realm. But when I don't fit into someone else's plan and purpose, now there's ridicule.
So start right there. Everything that he said he was gonna do, he did. Are you doing everything you said you was gonna do? Have you set yourself up to do everything that you said you was gonna do? Let me tell you, I make sure, and I know I wear Dion out. I know she be like, I know she be in the back, and I know she be just in her own space. Like, Lord knows I'm tired. Lord knows I'm tired. But listen, I try to make sure that every week I come, and every day, really, I make sure that you all get what you need. If I don't introduce you to somebody, if I'm not giving you something, if I'm not making sure that somebody is in your face or pushing you somewhere or something, I try to make sure that you all get what you need, right? But it also, you have to make sure you execute on that, right? So I like what Dion was saying. It spoke to me in terms of not just what he did for them, but making sure I'm accountable for what I do for you, right? And I can only hold you accountable, but so far, you gotta want it. You gotta want it. You gotta want it for yourself. You gotta want to succeed for yourself, right? You see what's happening. You see people getting laid off. You should be even more motivated now to get a subscription with somebody. You can get a subscription with IT Pro TV with us and get your discount, or you can go out and wait for the sales after Black Friday or Christmas or whatever the case may be, right? If you don't buy a CD, at least buy something that's gonna help you get you to the next level. And I'm not telling you and just go out there and buy a course and you don't ever use it or you're not gonna use it. Do something that you know you're gonna immediately use, right? Don't wait till next year to say you're gonna make the change. Do it now. What's the point? Make the change now, right? Also, don't wait for somebody to give you the validation that that's the change you need to make. You know it. Let me tell you something about uncertainty and the fact that you sit down every day with you. Every day you sit down with yourself and you know you need to do something. You feel it. You feel it in your bones, you feel it in your spirit, you feel it in your heart, and you know it's something that you need to do, and you know it's something you need to change. But sometimes you don't really understand like the direction you should go, right? And so that's what you lean into your network for. All right, to ask questions, to make sure that hey, this is the plan that I've set up for myself, but I ain't really sure if I should go this way. Lean into people, talk to people, find out, ask questions. Hey, I was looking at these things and I researched this, and this is what I'm thinking, right? Lean in, right? But also at the same time, you know, you know that feeling. You know when you at a job and you like, I feel something brewing in this company. You feel it. I feel something brewing when you sitting out in public. You feel it. You be like, nah, something ain't right. We need to go. I don't, I ain't feeling safe here. This ain't it. Right? You feel that. Go with your gut. Go with your gut, but execute. Right? Do your research, execute, pull the trigger. Here's the one thing. If it don't work out, start over, right? If it don't work out, start over. Buy the class. Go buy that one class that you know that's gonna help you. Go spend that hour, go spend them 2 hours, go spend them 4 hours. Do something. Don't sit on the sideline, right? Don't sit on the sideline. Morning, Stephen. How you doing? Thank you for coming back. Natasha, what's up? right? Don't sit on the sideline and wait for somebody to be like, oh, we firing you today, and you've been there 5 years and you ain't increased no skills, you ain't did no cert, you ain't did nothing. That's on you, right? That's on you, right? Because it's something. Remember, there is somebody out there more, if not already in a position that's hungrier than you. So be hungry all the time. Be hungry all the time. Be a forever learner. That's all I can tell you, right? Be a forever learner, but be a forever executor too. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to Dion.
But you forgot about my plan and God's purpose. That's where the dysfunction comes. I reached the point where I said to myself, we're going to go out there and recruit another great class, and we were in TC Will, and we're going to win again. So at what point do we keep dominating that you don't get mad at us for dominating? Because it's a level of dominance where you start to turn. And I felt that. You start to get tension from our own people because you're dominant. And you start saying, well, that's private. He can recruit that. We ain't got that. We don't have this. We heard it last night. You're 4 and 5 stars. Yeah, because we recruit them and they sign. But it comes a time that that's not what it's all about for me. I'm a winner. I've always won. I'm going to win. Y'all know that. You done your homework. But it's bigger than that. It's about increasing enrollment. It's about the safety of students. It's about going to the next level, not just in football. I would love to go to another conference. Is the rest of the school ready? Is the baseball team ready? Is the basketball team ready? Or just the football team? So you make it just about football, and it's not just about football to me.
Exactly. It's not just about for you to have the job. It's for you to have the wealth. It's for you to be able to share that wealth. It's for you to be able to talk to your family and be like, yo, check this out. I got some extra money. I'm gonna hit you up with this account, right? I'm gonna throw this money in here into a CD. And I want you to leave that money in there. But if you want to put more money into it, put more money into it. Hey, look, we got to buy this land over here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get it. But I want y'all to be able to put a business on it, put a building on it. I'm going to need y'all help with that. And then I'm going to need y'all help with X, Y, and Z. Oh, you said you got a business idea. What can we do? Can we look at an SBA loan to get that? Let's get your idea and put it into motion, right? It's about everybody else being able to eat. I'm doing it. So that way, when it's time for you to do it, I can support you internally. We don't have to go to the bank if we don't need to go to the bank because we already got a network that's set up so that you can win, right? That's the goal, right? The goal for everybody here is to get to 200,000. So you can be accredited investors. So that way, when we come across business ideas and somebody wants to present something to us, we can at least all sit in the room and talk about it, and not sit in the room and be like, "Well, that's good on you. I can't do it." I don't want to hear I can't do it, right? I want to hear like, "Well, we could do this one, but that one over there, we don't want to invest in that." It's not because you can't, it's because you don't want to. It's not because you can't, because you don't have the money. It's because you don't want to spend your money on that one. You want to spend your money on this one, right? I want you to have that ability. I want you to have that flexibility, right? It's not a flex because you got options, right? We got this mindset like we only supposed to do this much, but if you do that much, oh God, you're flexing. No, you're not flexing. That's what you did. Who said that I'm gonna wake up today and I'm just gonna be as minimum as possible. I'm gonna barely eat. I'm gonna barely breathe. I'm a barely look alive. I'm just gonna be bare, right? I'm not gonna exceed at what I plan for myself. What's wrong with having that plan for yourself and exceeding that, right? What's wrong with that, right? What is wrong with that? Why do we all get caught up with like that, that whole conversation like, oh my goodness, like Oh my God, you make a lot of money. You make six figures. Oh my God, you made it in life. Well, if you really want to talk about it, hell, Elon Musk, damn near trillionaire, right? Then you really want to get into it. You got the billions sitting over here, and we sitting over here like, no, don't you go over there and get that 100,000, 300,000, or that $2 million salary. Don't you do it, don't you do it. I don't know what that is. I don't even know why that's even an option to you, right? It don't even make sense to me, right? And it don't make sense to me to even be around people that even had that thought process. Never has. Be the best person that you can be so that you can help others. I'm not saying you're going to be able to help everybody. And everybody don't want your help. And everybody don't even know they need help. But the people that are really willing to go with you on your journey and support you, and you support them, roll with them. That's it. Let's get back to Prime.
It's about our trainers and kids that the fire alarms may go off and not being turned off at 3:15 in the morning. It's about people that may not have the proper safety on the campus that they should. I'm not just talking about Jackson State, I'm talking about everywhere. So the things that I want to accomplish, I can't do it by just being the darn football coach and winning games. I can't do it. And I reached a point where I had a real conversation with the Lord. That's funny how you believe the Lord when he said to come here, but you don't believe me. But I tell you, the Lord may tell you to do otherwise. It's like my God is talking to you about me. I don't think he works like that. But it's so much more that I can't do because that's not my occupation. I'm a football coach and a darn good one. And name one thing in football that we haven't accomplished that I said we would. But it's bigger than that. And until we address these underlying issues that nobody wants to talk about, ain't nothing gonna change. Football, yes. But what else is gonna change? And I'm a change agent. That's what it's all about to me. Because I'm not just attached to the football players, the equipment persons, the trainers, the academic persons, everybody on campus. When we leave, you're gonna find out what all we did. Because they don't really talk about the positivity of it until we go. You'll find out what all we did for Jackson State and all we wanted to do for Jackson State. I just pray to God that in all that get some understanding on change and where change really starts. And it does not start in the football department. Oh, that was good. That was a moment, wasn't it? Coach, thank you, Sam, for clapping me up. My man.
Hey, amen to that.
Amen.
That was it. It's more to it. He had more moments in this video. I advise you all to look throughout the whole video. But what stuck out to me is like, change, right? We're not just here just to talk about just tech. I mean, we talk about tech, but the show is tech, stocks, and jobs. But it has morphed into so many different things, right? It has morphed into making sure that, okay, you get the job, but where you gonna put the money at? Nobody talks about, and nobody says these things like when you get to the level of making 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 million, 2 million in salary, and your W-2 salary, where in the hell are you supposed to find tax breaks at? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about, oh yeah, max out your 401k. Okay, yeah, you did that. That's 20,500. It goes up next year. Okay, you put all that in. Oh, you got an RA, that's only 6,000. You go put some money in over there. Oh, and by the way, you go throw some money at a house or something of that nature. Oh, and by the way, you go over here and put some money in, and you still, and when you break it all down, I think I looked at it when I did uh the max, was it 200,000, and I did like 25% of that. Let me pull my calculator. Let's pull the calculator up instead of just me talking about it, right? So your gross is 200,000, right? That's the number we're sticking with. And they're saying that so Dave Ramsey does 15%, 10 to 15%. I think he does 15%. The money guy says put 25% in. So let's say you went with 25% of your salary, right? So let's go here and multiply by 25% of your salary. So 25% of your salary is 50,000, right? You only put in 20,500 for your 401k. And let's say you put in another $6,000 on in your IRA. You still got 23,500 left to try to maneuver so the government won't get you. Okay, say you let them take out extra taxes on you. Let's say you let them take out an extra $100 a paycheck, so you get paid twice a month. So there's 200 times 12. So minus 2,400, right? You still got roughly, let's round down, we'll say 21,000, right? You roughly still got 21,000. You got to figure out what you're going to do with tax wise, right? What are you going to do with that tax wise, right? So that's why I've been showing y'all things like, okay, you got an emergency fund. So let's say you build an emergency fund, right? So you build an emergency fund. Let's say you put in $1,000 a month, right? So let's go with that. $1,000 a month. That's minus 12, all right? Minus 12,000. So you still got 9,100. What you gonna do with that 9,100? Are you gonna put that 9,100 into an I bond? What are you gonna do, right? So I talk about these different things and different ways that y'all can put your money up, because no one talks about this with you when you start working. Nobody has that conversation with you. They don't have these conversations with you. Y'all just put your money in a 401k and you're like, that's it. Well, no, it's not it. It's there's other things you need to be doing, right? There's other things you need to be putting aside to so that you can have the flexibility, so you can have the options to do what you want to do when you want to do them, right? That's the goal there, right? That flexibility, right? So with that being said, let me see if I want to start off with what I got up here. If I want to start there, or I didn't bring my sheet up. Let me bring my sheet up. And we'll go from there. I may start off with this money market, but let me see. We're on episode 92. No, let's do this. So let's start with this, and then we'll work backwards. So I spoke about this week on our meetup, but I'm gonna bring it up here. 60 million Americans did freelance work in 2022, right? So let's look at it. So I think I can just click on this and it goes away, I think. No, I'm clicking, nothing happening. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want you to go away. Well, anyway, because it's stopping me from reading. Okay, American Go Solo, Upwork, one of the largest freelancing forums, recently conducted a survey. Let me pull this over. Oh, why won't you go away? Why? Can I get you to go away? No. All right. Freelancing platform recently conducted a survey of 3,000 working professionals, and the results are in. Freelancing is more popular than it's ever been. 39% of the workforce picked up freelancing in 2022, 3% more than in 2021. This trend was most popular among millennials and Gen Z, but it's significant for workers, employers, and the market at large, because it left employers struggling to fill positions, creating one of the tightest labor markets in decades. Like I say, people are not working the W-2s like they normally do. They are freelancing and consulting. However, people are still hiring. Like, they are still hiring. Don't let the media fool you about people are not working. They are. Is the great work revolution. It's safe to say, let me pull that up here. More than money. Yeah, right here. It's safe to say that this freelancing revolution gained steam during the pandemic. Over the past 2 years, workers across the industries were forced to work from home for months. In doing so, many took to the flexibility of working from home, or in some cases for themselves, finding it preferable to the limitation of the traditional work environments and daily commutes. So it's not entirely surprising that even after restrictions were lifted, the trend continued. Upwork notes that this freelancing revolution is happening along with other major work related trends, such as the great resignation and quiet quitting. Through these trends, people are showing an emerging preference for leaving their bosses behind and taking their chances and going solo. More than the money. Decision to freelance isn't always about the financial gain of those that survey. About 70% also know that pursuing meaningful work, the ability to work from anywhere, being your own boss, taking control of your financial future, and the schedule flexibility as reasons for making the change. Nevertheless, although pursuing more freedom in your working life can often mean taking a cut in pay, it seems most people switch to freelance work to increase their income. Over 80% reportedly did so to earn extra money. The extra money or any other reason is enough to convince you platforms like Upwork, Fiverr are an easy place to get started freelancer, right? And we talked about that. We talked about freelancing. We also talked about getting your own, doing your own government contracting, you know, as well as putting people in place for those government contracts. And also, you could be working on a government contract and still be a consultant as well too. So we talked about that, right? It's still 1099 work. It gives you that flexibility to do and move how you want to, right? So I hope you realize of what's happening around you. Like, people are working, and people are working not just remotely, but they're also working with in different capacities as far as freelancing goes. So let's pull this up because we've been talking about this recession, and let's look at what we have here. I forget which video. Yeah, Vanguard. All right, Vanguard sees a recession in 2023 and one silver lining for investors. After 2022's high prices, worries and stock market slides, what's coming in 2023. Vanguard says to watch out for these developments. All right, so let's look at this. The past 12 months was a year of the fast rising inflation, fast rising interest rates, and fast rising questions about the future recession. Prices went up, while the stock markets and savings accounts went down, leaving customers and investors dizzy and their wallets hurting. After all the turbulence, what's next? There may be more financial pain. That's pretty sure, but it's not as bad as feared, according to Vanguard's look in 2023. The likely recession will not send jobless rates sharply higher. Sticker shock will fade for prices of goods, and the rise in rent and mortgages will ease, Vanguard said. The good news is this opened up chances for stocks to rebound, the asset manager added. The outlook released this week comes as Americans are trying to guess what 2023 finances of their finances while they manage the holiday shopping. Now we know the holiday shopping has been up. People have been spending money this holiday, right? As much as they say they're not, they are. Don't forget to get the likes up, number one. And number two, let me know if you like this content by putting a one in the chat. Because I'm not sure if y'all are here with us today. I just need to do a check. I'm doing my temperature check, right? I'm doing my temperature check, but there is a delay. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, right? Make sure we're all on the same page, right? Let's say on Tuesday, inflation data from November show prices are continuing to cool. For October to November, the cost of living nudged up 0.1%, lower than the forecasted of 0.3% from the CPI index. You know, everybody's waiting for CPI to come out. Year over year, the inflation rate, it receded to 7.1 from 7.7. All right. So everybody laughed at me when I talked about those bonds at 4%, and then your I bonds at 6.8, and your muni bonds, right? Money market funds. We'll talk about that. I got that up here. I got this. We're gonna go through this, then a video, and then we're gonna move into the money market stuff. But what I want to tell you is this: make sure your money is working for you while you sleep. It doesn't make sense for you to get up unless you play in the stock market. Now I'm speaking conservative side. Let me clarify that. Make sure your money is working for you while you sleep. That's the best. That's the best sleep ever. To roll over and go to sleep and be like, oh, I got some money today, right? Oh, right? That's what you want. What's going on, Kelvin? You want your money working for you, right? On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve will announce its latest decision on interest rates. A 50 basis point increase is widely expected after four jumbo-sized 75-point base hikes from the central bank. Here's one roadmap for what's next as Vanguard researchers and experts see. High inflation will cool. The inflation rates during 2022 climbed to four-decade highs. There have been signs of easing, such as smaller than expected expected price increases in October. As we step into 2023, early signs of recovery in good supplies and softening demand could help balance supply and demand for consumption goods and bring lower prices. But the cost of demands and services are going to prevent a quick fall, they noted. Signs of slowing prices increases are already emerging in rents and mortgages, and we're going to talk about rents and mortgages and places to live as well, too. We're going to get into that. But they will take longer to ease than prices of consumer goods, the author says, right? A recession is very much on the cards, generally high inflation. I won't read all of that. We got the idea. Job losses may be clustered. Job losses may be clustered. For now, the jobless rate is a tight labor market is 3.7%, which is just a little above the lowest levels in 5 decades. That stands against the headline grabbing list of companies where layoffs are mounting, notably in the tech sector. When a recession in all likelihood lands next year, unemployment may peak around 5%, a historically low rate for a recession, the Vanguard outlook. As interest rate climb, the job losses should be the most concentrated in technology and in the real estate sectors, which are among the strongest beneficiaries of the zero rate environment, right? Spotting the opportunities. When interest rates go up, the bond prices go down. So you buy as low right now while you can for the bonds go up, because then when the bonds go up and I reinvest my dividends into my next bond on my bond ladder, I'm gonna be earning, right? These have led to our return expectations for U.S. international bonds to increase by more than the world, the report said. Vanguard said U.S. bond return projections could be 4.1 to 5.1% annually over the next year versus 1.4 to 2.4 return estimate last year. The U.S. stocks forecast could be 4.7 to 6.7 annually, while the returns in the emerging market equities market could go between 7 and 9%. On Tuesday morning, the stock market are soaring higher, but I want to focus right here, right? So if you could get 4 to 5% on your money annually, on just remember, this is just some money that you just got sitting aside. You're not touching it. You don't need it. You just got it over there. It could be $500. It could be $1,000. Some of the bonds don't even have nothing, but you could put $1 in it, right? Some of the CDs, right? So what I'm saying is, put some money over there, let it do what it do, and just leave it alone, and turn your head the other way and go on about your business, right? And then far as the stocks go, you already know my thoughts on this. This is not financial advice. These are just things that I have tried and that are working for me. You can stick and be very conservative. When I say very conservative, meaning stick with the kings and the aristocrats. Sticking with the kings and the aristocrats. When I say that, they have dividends, increasing dividends over the past 25 years and 50 years. So stick with your kings and your aristocrats. If you don't know what those kings are, you can just type in kings list for 2022. We'll say it should come up. Yeah. So 2022 dividend kings list, right? And they have their whole, they analyzed them, but they have a list here. And you can go back out here and you can go look at, you can look at full, but you can also look at time. You can also look at the monarchs. You can look at market beat, dividend, the whole nine. There's a ton of ton of places. You can also go to Fidelity, M1 Finance. You can go to Charles Schwab, and they have a list of kings, aristocrats as well too, right? There's also an ETF for kings and an ETF of aristocrats, right? So I'm gonna click on this one. I'm being very conservative, and the reason why I'm being very conservative is because of this, right? 25 years, 25 consecutive years that are the increase in dividends for aristocrats and kings 50 years. Now, when I say that, those are actual companies that you can go look at and go try to work for them, right? You people are like, where are the jobs at? The jobs are in the kings and the aristocrats. They're there. Go look for those jobs. Go look at those companies and look for jobs. So here we got American States Water, Genuine Parts, Procter and Gamble, Northwest Natural Holding, Dover Corporation, Park and Hannafin, Emerson Electric, 3M, Cincinnati Financial, Johnson and Johnson, Coca-Cola, and the list goes on. Well, all I'm telling you is go look at these companies. These companies have actual holding companies, and you can go find other jobs. I mean, other companies within those. Within those, who know? Do you know who Procter and Gamble is? Do y'all know who that is? Tell me you know who it is. Tell me you know who Procter and Gamble is, right? Procter and Gamble, Oral B, Tide, Pantene, Cascade, Venus Gillette, right? Tell me you know you've heard of these products. You've heard of Always, right? You've heard of these products, right? And then they have careers at Procter and Gamble. And you can go here and select countries that you want to work out of, right? Let's go with the United States. And we're going to say English, right? And then we're just going to hit search. They got 416 jobs. Let's pick a category here. Let's go with engineering. They got 45 engineering jobs in the United States. From robotics engineer to administrative to senior technical project engineer to engineer emerging leadership internship, a process engineer, an engineering manager, a site and PCIS leader, manufacturing engineer, project manager, control power systems, right? And it's 3 pages of this, right? So when y'all tell me you're not sure where to go look, I just went to Procter and Gamble and found job, right? So again, that's Procter and Gamble. Let's go Johnson and Johnson. And then we're gonna look up their ticker symbols. All right, Johnson and Johnson. Go here. Let's go and look at their. Let's look at see. You know who Johnson and Johnson is? As Medea said, you don't want that Johnson and Johnson on you, right? That Johnson and Johnson, right? So, what products do they have? Let's look at their products. All right, they self-care, skin health, and beauty, med tech, pharmaceutical products. Let's go here. We got your mission, not at this time. Okay, here we go. We got Tylenol, we got Motrin, we got skin and beauty here. We got Aveeno. We got some Johnson Johnson. We got some Listerine. Let's go to essential healthcare since I'm right here. Listerine, Band-Aid, Johnson and Johnson, Carefree, Neosporin, Pantene. I thought it was Pantene, but it's Pantene. Stay Free, Polysporin. Right. Let's go up here to Skin and Beauty, Neutrogena, Aveeno, uh, Dr. C, Neostrata. I never heard of this one. I guess it's Dabeo. Never heard of that one. OGX, Le Petit Marcellus or Marseille. I think it's Marseille. All right, other brands: BB Young Care, uh, Rogaine, Sundown, Lubriderm, right? Clean and Clear, right? Go back up here to self care: Tylenol, Motrin, Zyratrac, Benadryl, Zarbis, Neocorrect. Is it Neocorrect? Neocorrect. Now Dion gonna get me for that. Neocorrect. That's what it looked like. It's Nicorette. All right, let's go to careers. Neocorrect. And she'll be like, what is neocorrect? Neocorrect. All right, so here we go. Freelance, inspiring. I don't want to view articles. I want to do jobs. Let me hit search and see what will come back. Okay. Now let's go by country. Let's go down here. All right. And we'll leave that there. And then let's go over to business segment. Let me see. Info technology, apply filters. All right. They got 61, an IT senior manager, a senior cloud engineer, a senior director, a senior manager, a global legal technology lead, a technology solution analyst, a platform reliability analyst, a M1, an IT service now architect, a Scrum master, a IT lead, app program manager, app security, uh, senior Linux engineer. What does that look like? 97 to 160,000. They're in New Jersey. They want you to have some idea of architecture, software design, lead engineers, do code reviews, understand front, middle, and back, investigate emerging technologies, SOPs, STDs, guidelines, work instructions, multifunctional, build opportunities through efficiency, right? 6 years of hands-on experience, 4 years. Look at what they got. They use Red Hat. So they're part of the Red Hat crew. Outstanding employee, skill, adapt, on-premise cloud, probably OpenShift, OpenStack. Probably OpenShift, OpenStack. Linux clustering with HP Service Guard and Red Hat Pacemaker. They're using Red Hat Pacemaker. Proficient at Linux operating system and shell scripting. Right? Here's their stack. Experience in tools with ServiceNow, Centrify, Jira, Chef and Jenkins, Rear. I'm not sure what Rear is. Ansible, Fluent, Kibana, Grafana, Beyond Trust, Beyond Insight, Password Safe, Password Vault, certifications in AWS and Azure. They're in two clouds, and they on-prem, right? Exposure to Trend Micro, Tanium, Cisco, AMP, Flexera, Magellan net back up and Control M, right? And that's Johnson and Johnson. And how did I get here? How did we get here? We went and looked at dividends, increasing dividends, increasing dividends, and Kings with increasing dividends over 50 years, 50 consecutive years. You don't know who they are. You don't know who Procter and Gamble are and who Johnson and Johnson is. I just showed you that. If you want to know what their ticker symbol is, we'll go over here to Yahoo Finance, which I looked at Yahoo. They're still hiring. I'm just like, I thought Yahoo was supposed to die a long time ago. They still here. Procter, spell that one right. Is that right? I know I didn't. We're gonna come back. If I do it wrong, let's find out. Maybe it's just PNG. Let me see. PG. Yeah, it's PG. It's PCTR. I'm thinking Proctor the thingy, the Proctor the exam. So $150. What they look like over 5 years. They've been increasing over 5 years, right? Right. It should be increasing over 50. This is their trend line from 85 all the way to now. This is what they look like. So if you're looking for a company to invest in, you can look at Procter and Gamble. You can look at Johnson and Johnson. You can invest money. You can also look at them for jobs, right? So you worry about where employment is at. These are places to look for. These are things that you look out for. I just showed you jobs. I showed you tech jobs there. They probably have finance jobs as well. So let's go J. Are they J and J? Oh no, J and J. Yeah, let's go 175. Let's go max. As you can see, all the way from there to now, 175. Right? That's what they've traded at, right? So when you look at these two companies or any of these companies, you can look at them for investments, but you know they're still on the list. They have increasing dividends for the last 50 years. Another company, Raymond James, RJF. Let's go look at their max. So they got started. They look like they might have got started in 83, maybe. I'm not sure. And then they're up here at 106. So let's look at Raymond James. You ask me who is Raymond James. Are they? I think they are a king. Raymond James is a king. Let me look at a list. We go back over to here and let me look. I think Raymond James may be a king. Let me get a full list. This is not a full list. Let me look here. Let me do this. Raymond James, Aristocrat, Aristocrat, or King. I think they're King. Yeah. See. Raymond James be a hidden gem, be a word a blue chip, blah blah blah. They are considered a blue chip company. I'm trying to see if RFJ is a king, is on the king list. They're based out of St. P, 1.25 million in assets under their administration. They have Raymond RFJ financials, as you saw when I was looking. I'm not see. Let me see. Do I see King on here? Let me look. tracking, but I'm not seeing King, so I'm not sure. Yeah, Dividend Kings. Yep, they're a King. They most definitely are. Yep, Coca-Cola is on that list as well, right? Um, so Dividend King, Raymond James. All right. This is a under Seeking Alpha, and I'll go back to Raymond James here in a minute. But I just want to give you an overview because some of you all may have never heard of him. Raymond James is one of the most impressive asset managers, and this came out in November of 26. Most impressive asset managers that most people have never heard of. Is one of the highest quality, safest, and most dependable hyper dividend growth stocks on earth. This idea was discussed in more depth with members of my private investing company, iREIT and Alpha, right? So here, a world beater blue chip, an industry leader with superior management products and an adaptable and resilient corporate culture qualifies. One of the favorite things is bringing the world beater blue chip ideas to bear markets that can deliver life changing long term rich retirement results. Again, RFJ. You can go again, they're keen, increasing dividends over 50 years. I think they've been around 138 years. Don't get me the line. And we can go do some research on that. But let's go look at it. RFJ has been soaring throughout the pandemic. Historical fair value PE of 14.8, 73% EPS growth in 2021, 6% growth in 2022. 30% growth in 2023. This is what they're expecting. 11% growth in 2024. How on earth can a financial company, much less an asset manager, defy market gravity in a recessionary bear market? How can an asset manager who collects fees from AUM, assets under management, thrive when stocks and bonds are doubling down or double or down double digits for the first time in history, right? So that's why I keep trying to talk about the bond stuff, right? Get them while they low. Buy low, sell high, right? Buy low, sell high. And I got some stuff that I'm gonna come up and bring up so y'all can see. All right. So we looked at that. We looked at this. The balance sheet is a fortress with $23 billion in cash, $3 billion in debt, and $27 billion in liquidity. Thus, the reason RFJ can opportunistically buy so many companies in a bear market. How strong is the balance sheet? Very strong, as you can see, not just from the credit ratings and the amount of cash on the balance sheet, but also from the capital ratios, right? In fact, among its six largest peer, RFJ is the best capital ratio above management goal of tier one ratio, right? So that's RFJ. Let's go back over here to RFJ. And let's go over here to Raymond James. And now let's look at careers. Let me scroll down here and let's go to careers. Hopefully I don't have to log in. Search open positions. I do know a few managers over here as well too. I reposted one of the positions on my timeline for Raymond James. I know a couple of people. I know a couple of people over there, and they're looking for people. So here they are. They're in Florida, Tennessee, and that may be a little blurry. Let me blow this up. Some because that look a little blurry on the screen I'm looking at for you all. So Florida, Tennessee, Michigan, New York, Texas, Georgia. And within those locations, St. Petersburg, Memphis, Southfield, New York. The headquarters is in St. Petersburg in the Feather Sound area. All right. All right. So we have enhanced due diligence analyst, AML, financial crimes. You have a senior infrastructure automation engineer. You have a senior PC liaison. You have a transition consultant. You have a senior AML technologist. You have a director of operations and administration. You have a COBOL engineer. In fact, I got a COBOL position that got sent out yesterday. No, sent out Thursday, right? You have a supervision director of issues and management. You have a cost basis associate. You have a technology lead analyst over at wealth management. You have an equity research associate, biotechnology. Let's go to the second page. Oh, here we go. Let me scroll up. Can I go next? Let me see. One. Let me go. Let me hit next. Okay, this is the second page. Um, a lead Java engineer. A lead Java engineer. We have an account transfers associate. You have a security officer. The time for that security officer to work is from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have a content manager for PCG educational programs, a part-time receptionist in Davenport, Iowa. Excuse me. We have let me see, a lead .net engineer, all right, and the list goes on, right? So that is RFJ Raymond James, right? Raymond James, right? So that is a king. They have had increasing dividends over the last 50 years. They're trading at 106 as of Friday, right? As of Friday, 106, right? And when I did the max and look at them over the years, you can see the slope is increasing. So for those of you that like want to be very conservative and want to invest in only companies that have had increasing dividends over the last 50 years, for Kings, there's actually an ETF out there for you for that. Or you can go individually and pick and choose of what you want to have in your portfolio, right? Just know that they're going to be increasing, and that's just what you do. You just take your money, you go look at that list of dividend of Kings. You can go pick out the top five, right? The top five that are returning the top five uh, dividends for that year and bounce around and just invest in them five. Or you can get the ETF as well too. What I'm just trying to show you is here's the companies that are still hiring because everybody's worried about the recession. Here's the company that have increasing dividends over the last 50 years, and here's what they do. Here's their portfolio of what they do. This is what we call tech, stocks, and jobs. I showed you that, right? Now you have to go apply. You need to go get the skills. If you're a developer, you can go work for them. If you're in the fintech, you can go work for them. If you're in the healthcare, you can go work for them. A lot of people like the shiny toys, but I'm just saying you don't have to get the shiny toys in order to be into this. It said, "Hi Tam, has anything for a MSP came across your desk? MSP, managed service provider? No, most people are looking for people to come under the fold. Under the fold, I haven't seen that. So, let me get back to my notes so that we can move to this. All right. So here we go. Video.
Consumer prices rose less than expected in November, still, though, up 7.1% from a year ago. Much like Tip O'Neill famously said about politics, all inflation is also local. Here are the top 5 cities where inflation is rising the fastest, according to Wallet Hub: Phoenix, Miami, Tampa, Atlanta, and Seattle, rounding out the top 5. Let's talk about that with Wallet Hub analyst Jill Gonzalez. Jill, nice to see you. So why are those top 5 cities, what do they have in common? You may be on mute there, Jill. There
we go.
There you go.
Inflation all over the country is based on supply and demand. Right now, it stands at around 7.1%, but in these 5 cities, It's up as high as 12% in the Phoenix and Scottsdale area, more like 10% in most of these other cities. And that really comes down to labor shortages. So look at these places: Phoenix, Scottsdale, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater. These are metro areas that are right now in peak snowbird season. So they're kind of retiree havens year round, but even more so now. So that's putting even more pressure on their ecosystems when it comes to the finances. That means that there are more people, therefore more demand, and still less supply, because we're already seeing these labor shortages post-pandemic. So that's why these places are even more stressed financially right now when it comes to inflation.
It's interesting, Jill. I wouldn't have guessed that. I guess, but then when it comes to the stickiness of this, the fact that so many people are moving to those cities, the fact that you mentioned snowbirds, I would think that that would then increase over the next several months as it's become a more and more attractive places to live. Does that mean that maybe inflation is going to tend to go even higher in some of those cities than where it is today?
So let's talk about that, right? So I can give you firsthand, St. Petersburg and Tampa. Are we feeling the effects of the inflation? Maybe, maybe not. I can't tell. Why can't I tell? Let's look at why I can't tell. Let me get out of big screen mode there. Let's go here to Zillow. Why Tamika can't really tell about this inflation that they talking about. So let's remove this boundary. Let's go just strictly with condos. We're gonna go strictly with condos. And we're gonna apply. We're gonna come back down to here, right there. And then we're gonna take this and we're gonna sort by prices high to low. This is why Tamika can't tell. Tamika can't tell when you have condos in St. Pete that are being built under new construction at 5.6 million. When you have new condos going up every single day. I get the notes every day about new condos going up at 5.6 million, 4.7 million, 3.9 million. I rarely see $1 million condos go up. And they're all up and down Central and downtown St. Pete. Look at this, $2 million condo, 1,700 square feet, 2 million plus. New construction, depending on your view, what you're looking at, that's what I see. All right. When I go look at housing, let's go look at houses. We're gonna hit apply. I sorted by high to low. A new construction home over in Brightwaters, which is one of my favorite little areas over there. Brightwaters Edge being built at 11 million. A house for sale at 9.5. New construction house at 7.5. New construction house at 6.9. Right? When I see across this area, I don't know about an inflation. Because all I see is 10 million, 5 million, 4 million, $3 million houses and condos being built. Across that landscape is also new companies that are coming into Tampa and St. Pete. New opportunities between Tampa, St. Pete, Miami, and Orlando is what I see, right? So, like I say, the market can say one thing, but what I'm seeing is something totally different. And these people are getting into bidding wars for these locations, right? They're snapping them up left and right. In majority of your Black neighborhoods now, you would see a house go up for 200,000 or 300,000. Now you're seeing 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 for a house. There may be a 2.2. There may be a 2 and a 1 car garage. They try to do 2, but sometimes they're 1 car garages, right? So when I was looking at this, I was like, I don't know where they're at, but that's not what I see.
Well, the good news is that inflation overall seems to be slowing down. I do think that it will slow down nationwide, but in these particular cities, it's going to take a while to see that same slowdown that we might be seeing in other places like New York or in LA. So I do think that things are going to be slowing down. I mean, a lot of this does come down to the Federal Reserve. We have seen that their aggressive rate hikes have seemingly been starting to slow inflation. Certainly by no means the amount that you might feel it in your wallet anytime soon. But I
Shout out to L Wakes. We see you out there. Thank you. We see you. Good morning. Hope your appointment is going all right.
do expect that to happen in these cities as well, just not at the same rate that we're seeing it across the rest of the country.
Well, you surprised me, Jill. I was certain that you were going to say it's all about real estate. Number 1, 2, and 3 are the top 3 housing markets over the last 2 years. They have been growing exponentially, up somewhere around 20% in terms of their home prices. How does real estate factor in here?
That too. I mean, obviously, these markets are very well sought after, especially after the pandemic. People want more space. People want to be outside, working remotely. People are retiring earlier as well. So,
and that's the key thing right there. That's a good thing she said that. People are retiring early. People are not waiting till they 60. People are retiring. The fire movement is real. People are retiring at 30 and 40. And that's why I'm trying to tell you all that are like entering into tech and you're like, oh, I need to worry about getting all these other things. What I'm telling you is go invest your money now. It's okay to have your 401k and have investments. And if people around you don't like you having investments, screw them. You set yourself up so you can retire and live how you want to, right? I'm gonna bring up an article. You know, I gotta have my petty tea time, so I'm gonna bring up my article. So let's get back into it, and then we're gonna roll into some other stuff.
we're seeing all of that, which again brings it back to more people, more demand, and not enough labor to accommodate these growing populations. So even the housing costs, are helping to slow that down. People might be now waiting a little bit with a recession looming, but either way, the populations have grown there over the past couple of years.
Yeah, those stand in stark contrast, though, to 6, 7, and 8, which are Detroit, Anchorage, Alaska, and Baltimore, all 3 relatively struggling economies at this juncture. But I want to get to the...
And let me tell you something about Florida. They would, these restaurants and these locations close down because they don't have people. They be like, oh, we closed today because we don't have no cook. Y'all want to come cook? We hiring. We don't have nobody to help us deliver the food. We don't have no waitresses. They overworked. It's not enough people. People are eating out. People are, trust me, when I tell you, people are out in Florida. They out in Atlanta. They out in New York. They out. Everybody say, we outside. They are outside. People are outside. And they are buying. And there's not enough workers to work. That's just what it is. That's why you see automation taking off. That's why you see Walmart's like, we ain't got nobody to work the front store. Well, we just automate that. Now y'all, now that Walmart ain't nobody got it and nothing in nobody in the front of the store. Now y'all want to go steal. Don't go steal and have them close it down. Stop robbing the folks. What you robbing for? Now Walmart, the only thing, look, listen, I don't know if y'all pay attention. When you come to the black areas, how many Targets do you see move in versus how many Walmarts you see move in? Target be like, we in the area, but we not. You got to drive to us. Walmart be like, we in the area and you can walk. Once they close that Walmart down, because some of y'all still go to Walmart and get your food, get your food and everything. Target don't play that. Target is like, we not in those areas, but we in the area. We not in those areas, but we in the area. It's always a Walmart. It's always a McDonald's. It's always a Wendy and Burger King, right? We in the area. Target to be like, we in the area, but we not in the area. You can get to us, but you can't get to us, right? Once they snatch a Walmart out of a black neighborhood, then I'm just being honest. Once they snatch a Walmart, a super Walmart out of a black neighborhood, it's gone. What grocery store you gonna go to? Publix, Kroger, Safeway, whatever the case may be, but they ain't in the area. They are a little further out. They're a little further down the street, right? You don't see Whole Foods in the neighborhoods. You gonna catch you a General Dollar, correct? Save a lot. But fresh produce, and I'm not saying Walmart is fresh. I'm saying it's an option. But I am saying if it does go, that's where a lot of people go, where they go do all their shopping. Just like Super Target, they go do all their shopping. Notice, here's another thing to notice. How many Sam's do you see in black neighborhoods? Do you see Sam's? They in it, but they not in it. You can get to us, but we ain't really there. Sam's be like this. Like Tim the Tool Time, right? Dollar General got a whole IT department, right? But what I'm pointing out to you is this: when you look at these places, look at how they look for property and where they look for property at. Walmart is like, yo, you ain't gonna keep stealing for us. We snatch them all out. We'll shut them down. We'll shut them down. Now you're gonna really be mad. Now you really gonna be hungry. You already have food deserts. You're gonna have whole play, and this is what happens. This is what's gonna happen. Walmart moves out, a private equity fund or some type of real estate fund is gonna move in. Either they're gonna tear it down, or they're gonna turn them into storage units, or they're gonna build condos. And then now you're giving up everything that you had before. And Walmart be like, take it. We good on that. And now you really ain't got nothing. Now your property value go up. Now you got guess what you got to do. Guess what ends up getting happen? You get pushed on out. And now they're gonna push you to this point when you can get your skills up. You can go invest and go from there. Yeah, crime gonna go up. They're gonna be robbing. Now, I ain't seen this yet. I'm waiting for this. I ain't seen this yet. I ain't seen them walk into McDonald's and just jump over the counter and bum rush them and start stealing fries and chicken and hamburgers. I ain't seen that yet. I ain't seen it yet. Not to say they ain't gonna do it. I just ain't seen it yet. I seen some people walk in and maybe try to fight, or they try to fight somebody, but I ain't seen them get that bold where you just walking in. I mean, maybe because the grease is hot and you got to wait for somebody to prepare all that food or whatnot. I don't know. I just ain't seen it yet. All right, let's finish this up.
Cities where inflation is growing the slowest Chicago, Honolulu, Houston, San Diego, Minneapolis also really stand out. San Diego and Honolulu in particular, two of the most expensive cities in the country. What stands out to you about the bottom end of the spectrum?
So here we see cities in a lot of cases that had kind of the least room to grow in terms of inflation, right? Honolulu, one of the most expensive places. Everything you buy there kind of has an additional import tax tacked onto it. So things can't necessarily get that much more expensive there, especially when we're talking about imports. I mean, when everything's coming in, already paying for it, that's kind of what we're seeing here as well. Some of those other places, again, more expensive to begin with, so less room to kind of go. But you are, regardless of where you are, especially in these places, even if you don't see inflation as much, you're still probably paying a little bit more for a little bit less, especially when we're talking about groceries or gas.
No question about that. We saw some numbers skyrocket in produce last month. Jill Gonzalez from Wallet Hub, thanks so much.
All right, so that was from Wallet Hub, right? So I have some other ones as well too that I wanted to bring up that I thought you all would enjoy as well. Just things that I've been watching it outside of watching the FTX debacle go down as well too. Let's see, we did the freelancer. Let's look at this one here. It's in the same. It's on the other end of the spectrum, but let's look at it right here. Here. So I was no, that's not the one I want to bring up. But let's look at it, right? Since we were on Prime, I should have went with this with Prime, but I didn't. But nevertheless, let's go here. So I was like, what are the richest cities in Colorado? And then I went and looked at some. I went and looked at the richest cities in the U.S. I didn't keep that on my list. Oh yeah, here it is right here. So I went and found the richest cities in the U.S. and the richest cities in Colorado. Just curious, right? So let's start with the richest cities in the U.S. Okay, the median household income in the United States in 2018 was 61,000. This is an older one, but it might have changed some, but bear with it. I don't think it changed that much, right? So here, the 6,250 cities that met the criteria were ranked based on their average household income to determine which cities were the 100 richest cities in the United States. So we got California, Atherton, California at 450,000. You got Scarsdale, New York. You got Cherry Hills Village, Colorado at 394,000. We got Los Altos Hills. We got Hillsboro, California. You got Short Hills, Highland Park, Texas. Thank you, Ad. Thank you. Bronxville, New York, and Glencoe, Illinois, right? And they went over some stuff with, about each one. So let's get into this Colorado one, which cracked me up. So let me blow this up so we can see that, right? So it says this is the latest year we have for ACS data is 2020, right? Using the mean or the average household income. We only really have two criteria to determine the richest. The city must have a population of at least 500 people. The margin of error provided by the Census Bureau for the city must be less than 50% of the mean household income estimate. The richest cities in Colorado. Are y'all ready for these numbers here? All right. Let's look at these numbers. All right. So look at this. Mean income, the mean income, right? Arapahoe County. And me and Dion crack up about it. We were like, I rap a hoe. But it's Arapahoe, right? I rap a hoe, right? Anyway, Arapahoe, 464,000. You all know and heard of Columbine. 331,000. Bolmar, Bolmar, 324. Greenwood Village, 236. Timnath, 227. Aspen, 187. Blue River, 185. Lone Tree, Superior, Vale. These are getting into some of the vacation spots. Vale is a vacation spot. 158. Louisville, 155. That's where Louisville, Superior, that area was where the fires were. Snowmass, Castle Rock, Broomfield, 135. Lafayette, it's 100 of them. Boulder, 123. Eagle Monument, Winter Park of Arvada, Littleton, Denver, 111, right? But if you look at these top ones up here, Cherry Hills, Village, right here, 464. It's in a whole county, right? 464, right? And you look at these mean incomes and you wonder, like, where people are getting their money from, what's going on there. So I'll do a deeper dive on the cities from Colorado and the ones that are the top. I'll probably do the top three of each one of these: the top richest cities in the United States and the top richest cities in Colorado, and pull data out to see what people are doing, where did they get their wealth from, and so forth. Peel back the layer, peel back the onion there, right? The next one I had, oops, I keep doing it because I keep going to the wrong corner. I need to fix my screen because it's off. My screen is off. The way I move my screen is off. All right, so let's look at this. Since do I want to go there now? I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that one just yet. We'll wait on that one. We're going to wait on that one. Let's look at this one. So, while we were talking about back earlier about finances and stuff, here I was looking at this and I found it interesting because they're saying that copper prices traditionally are a barometer for the global economy are expected to soar next year. It says the metal has endured a tough 2022 due to the tighter U.S. monetary policy, the energy crisis arising from Russia's war in the Ukraine, and China's combination of COVID-19 lockdowns, right? Goldman Sachs and Bank of America have both suggested a combination of short-term supply tightness and long-term energy transition related demand will push the red metal north from here. So it's saying they're expecting copper to go up. Traditionally seen as a leading indicator of the economic health, has unsurprisingly had a rough year, but analysts expect a resurgence in 2023, even as the global outlook remains highly uncertain. Some of the Wall Street biggest banks in recent years have suggested a combination of short-term supply tightness and long-term energy transition demand will push the red metal north from here, right? So they're predicting that predicting that copper prices will go up. You can go look and see about how to buy some copper, just like you can silver and steel, and just let it sit there, right? Let it sit there, right? So that's just my thoughts. I thought it was interesting that they use copper as in a global indicator for a global economic indicator, which is interesting. All right, so let's get into my next one. Come on, Mouse, where are you at? Let me fix this. It's getting on my nerves. Oh, here we go. It's over here now. Let me fix it real quick because it's getting on my nerves. Let me fix my display. Oh, that's what it is. I go up. Okay. I got it now. I know what it is. It's set right. I'm just doing it wrong. All right, so here we go. Um I wanted to talk about money markets. So I went to Fidelity and I went to Charles Schwab. And why did I do that? Because I know some of you have Fidelity. I know some of you have Charles Schwab. I know some of you have M1 Finance. But I wanted to talk about some stuff so that you can make your own decisions if you utilize either one of these companies, right? So let's look at compare these money fund types, right? And here we're looking at money funds, right? And this is money market accounts. So let's go here. Money funds. Look at this right here. Taxable, all right? Taxable. Government treasury, government and treasury money funds. Taxable. Tax exempt municipal money funds or muni funds, right? Muni fund. That's what people call them for short, right? Not the greatest returns. Not the greatest returns. Not the greatest, but they're there, right? So, and this is just on Schwab. I'll go to Fidelity, and then I go. I think M1 Finance has some as well too. But I just want to show you that if you're looking for a place to put your money, you're not going to get a big return. These are just horrible returns. But what do most people do? And this is when I was talking to the financial planner, and he was saying that, a lot of millionaires, when they want to be conservative with their money, but they wanted to make some money, they'll go throw it in a muni bond, or they'll go throw it somewhere where it's going to be tax free and make it work. It's not all their money. We're not saying put all your money. I'm just saying you put some money, right? Or you're getting 2.81%, 2.96%. Those are low, right? And then you got variable share price money funds. These are taxable. But look at this. This is what we want to point out to people, right? Look at this. You need a minimum initial investment of $1 million for 4.18%. So somebody that's got $1 million just sitting aside is putting their money in it at 4.18%. So you do the calculation on that. It says 7-day yield with waivers, right? 7-day yield. So 4.18%. So let's do a calculator on that. And let's do $1 million. Yeah, right. Times 4.18%. And let's do that. So they're giving back $41,000, 41,800. So again, we're not looking for big gains. We're just looking for a little gain. We're just looking for a little something, right? And you could take that same thought process. Again, like I said, these are not big returns that I'm looking at right here at the 2.2, 2.8. Here you go up a little bit if you start coming up here to I actually bought this one because I just wanted to see what it do, right? At 4%. I only put $1,000 into it at 4%, 4.04%, right? Not a lot, not a huge lot, not a whole lot. 1,000 at 4.04%. Where's my percent? There we go. $40. $40.40. I'm not looking for a whole lot. But guess what? I didn't have to do. I didn't have to go work for that $40. I just put it in there and it make me some money for me, right? So that's all I'm saying. It's not a lot of money, just something you make some money off. So here on the Fidelity side, what is a money market fund? All right. All right. So here they talk about the 3 benefits of the money market funds: stability and safety. While not insured by FDIC, the funds are required by federal regulations to invest in a short maturity, low risk investment, making them less prone to market fluctuations than many other types of investments. Liquidity, easy retrieve funds from the money market, mutual fund to get cash, pay a bill, or make an investment in your account. Market based yields. We are focused on helping investors achieve their financial goals while taking a conservative approach towards managing risk. So, keeping it back to where we were before, the kings and the aristocrats, increasing dividends over 50 years for the kings, aristocrat increasing dividends over 25 years. Here we are again with the money markets. You're conservative. You don't have that risk in you. Here's another alternative for is in the money market, right? All right. So the money market funds are fixed income mutual funds that invest in debt securities characterized by short maturities and minimal gain, right? And so when you go back over here, short maturities, 7-day yield, 7-day, boom, put it in, boom, right? So it says the securities are issued by the government and entities or companies who borrow money and repay principal and the interest to investors within a short period of time. I'm in and I'm getting my little money out, right? I'm getting my little money out. Some investors use money market funds to save for short-term goals or emergencies, or as a low volatility allocation in their portfolio of stocks and bonds. Some investors choose government money market fund as the core position in a brokerage account to receive or make recurring payments or hold money before moving to another investment. So this is on Fidelity. And it look a little small. Okay, that's bigger. Money market funds are categorized by types of investments in the fund. Fidelity offers government, prime, and muni funds, which are tax exempt, right? Tax exempt. Money market funds and in the industry leader managing over 800 billion in total money market assets. So you got your Fidelity one here, which is Fidelity Municipal Money Market Fund. You have a Prime, which is your Fidelity Money Market Fund, and Fidelity Government Money Market Fund. And you can look and see what they are returning. Hopefully, I don't have to make an account on here. Oh, cool. Let's blow this up some, right? So they got a year to date of 0.78% over time, points over a year, 0.7, 3 years, 0.4 performance. It's really low. Like I said, you're not looking at doing that, you're not getting nothing big, you ain't doing nothing fancy. They got a 7-day yield of 1.67. That was a 11/30/2022, but tax equivalent yields 4.17. 4.17, right? So this is what it's going to get you over the years. We're not looking at nothing big. We just looking real small, in and out. That's it, right? So again, you can get into these and look at the prospectus. They have it right here for you. They have their monthly fact sheet. They have all of those things on both accounts, on your Charles Schwab and so forth. I just wanted to bring that up to you because I know some of you, and we talked about this earlier, you want to be tax free. You want to, not that one. You want to be tax free. So here's where your, where was it at? Right here. Tax exempt. So here's an option for you to get in into a tax exempt right here. And then if you don't mind being taxable and you want the higher return, well, here you go right here. You can see right here somebody got need to put $1 million into that one, $1 million into that one, $1 million in that. So people do use these things, right? They do use these to invest in. All right, so let's get going. We talked about that. Did I talk about this one? Open up. Let me see. Oh, no. So let's go. Let's go. CNBC did a thing. The 10 states where $1 million in retirement savings will run out the fastest. Of course, no, number one is Hawaii. Of course, number one is Hawaii. Load it up some so y'all can see that. So let's get to the place. It says retirement can last 25 years or more after you stop working. So if you retire at 50, you may still have another really 30 more years, right? You may have 25, which would be putting you at 75, but you may live 20 more years after that, right? The life expectancy for humans is increasing as well. So just keep that in mind. All right, so here we go. It says in Hawaii, $1 million in retirement savings will only cover your expenses for 10 years. As the least affordable state to retire in 2022, you need about $2 million to retire comfortably, comfortably there, right? So let's keep going. Now look at the color codes, right? If you look at this green right here, these are the states right here that I believe they say that your money won't last, right? And then these states right here are between 19 to 21, and then 21 to 23. And then those ones in blue are you get 23 years or more in your retirement. So where it won't go far, Hawaii, New York, California, Massachusetts, not Arkansas, Alaska, Maryland, Oregon, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont. Where your $1 million will go the furthest is Mississippi, but I'm not moving to Mississippi. Oklahoma, Kansas, got to worry about tornadoes. Alabama, Iowa, Georgia, Indianapolis, Tennessee, Arkansas, right? So out of Georgia, you get 23.8 years for retirement. Notice that Florida is not on there because Florida falls in this between this 19 to 21 right here. That color right there that goes with Florida. But you got some other states that you can get 22 years out of, and they're in this light blue up in here, right? Virginia didn't make the cut, did it? No, it didn't. It's still on the little green side there. It's still not. It's not as green, but it ain't really in the cut. It ain't really on the list. Yeah, this came out December the 17th. Last Saturday. No, not last Saturday. This Saturday. Last Saturday. This Saturday. All right. It said how much to save for retirement. While this data can give you an idea of how much certain places may cost, it's important to remember that retirement looks different for everyone. The amount you need can vary greatly depending on the desired retirement lifestyle. Yeah, 2 million as a single person, a family with a spouse. I say 2 million as a single person. Because you also got to factor in long-term care. The older you get, the higher your healthcare costs go up as well too, right? So it says, this is what I was talking about earlier. We recommend investors save between 12 to 15%. Now, the money guys, they say 25%. When I did that 200,000 calculation and saving 25% of your income and taking that 50,000 and dispersing and investing it everywhere, that's what I was going with. I'm being extra. I'm putting extra on it. But you can do anywhere from 12 to 25, right? But again, you need to be putting your money away where it's working for you, right? Where it's working for you. It says, however, putting that much may not be possible for many investors, especially those who are in their early careers. if you aim to contribute at least enough to an employer-sponsored retirement to earn your employer's full match. So if they match you at 4% and you putting away 4% of your retirement, that's good, right? But you could probably do a little more, right? From there, aim to increase your retirement contribution from 1 to 2% each year until you've reached a target of saving 12 to 15%. I'm going to recommend 25. I do like the 25. I do like the 25. I think you see it more too. But in order to do that, you're going to have to earn some money for that too, right? For those getting started, they may have 40 plus years to save for retirement. Maintaining 12 to 15% rate through times of market calm of validity over the course of 4 plus decades is one of the best ways you can prepare for retirement. And that's what I want to bring up. So, all right, so let me get out of this mode here. Let's get petty. I got 8 minutes to be petty. All right. Y'all see the headline. I'm gonna let you read it, and then I'll read it. I'm gonna make sure I covered everything. Petty tea time. Petty tea. And make sure I got everything else out the way before I got to this. I got one more little thing, but I can talk about it on the next show. Hold on, let me see. Oh, I want to talk about that too. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Those two things after that. You said confused 6K left. What you mean 6K left? I'm not sure. 7.5K left. I'm not sure what you mean about that. Oh, okay. You reading here. All right. Oh, we did this one. This ain't the one. Oh, we did that one. Did I not save my one I was looking at? Oh, man. Hold on. Let me go look. Let me see if I can find it on the page. Ain't what I want. That's not what I want. Let me go see if I can find it on the page. We did that one. We did that one last week. Let me come over here and see if I can find the one that I wanted to talk about. I thought I saved it. And let me see if it's on here. Because this is a good one. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. I don't want to talk about the Seattle woman. I thought I saved it. Yeah, here it is right here. All right, Petty T, you found it. What do you mean? I'm already logged in. I already got an account. All right. I met my wife in 2019. And we married in 2020. I put her name on the deed of my $998,000 California home. And now I want a divorce. What can I do? What can I do? Drop in the comments some thoughts on what you think this man can do. And drop in the comments what you think he should have did. I talk about it all the time. What you think he should have did? $998,000, and he wanted a divorce. All right, let's go. No estate, no date. No estate, no date. All right, let's go. Let's go, petty tea time. My favorite part of the show. We gotta come up with an intro, like a dance or something. Petty tea. We gotta come up with a dance or something. All right. So let's get into it. I bought my home in California for $520,000 in 2017. It is now worth $980,000. In 2019, I met my now wife, who moved in at the beginning of 2020. We married 6 months later in July of 2020. Things were going great. We decided to have one bank account. I also added my wife to my home on I added my wife to my home on the deed as 50-50 in January of 2021. I make close to 200,000 a year and my wife makes 78,000. So they roughly got to combine 278,000. After I put my wife's name on the deed, our relationship did a 180. I have mentioned how things have changed, hoping she would take my feelings into consideration. I've also mentioned counseling, which I have attended, but she has no interest. I want a divorce. I no longer can live like I'm living. My question to you is my wife entitled to half of my home, given she is on the deed and not the loan? Keep in mind, she was only added to the deed in 2021. Or is she entitled to the equity from the time her name was added to the deed? We appreciate you, Miss Phoenix, for the tech ties from the Bahamas. Or y'all didn't you take me? Yeah, you did you y'all didn't want me to go? You didn't want me to be there? You didn't want Petty T to be there? All right. Yeah, I saw Jennifer Lewis got scammed out of $50,000 from my boyfriend. Yeah, it was on American Greed. It's on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube. All right. So what can this man do? Why he gotta look like Homer Simpson? She gotta look like Barbie. All right, dear wondering. This is one of those letters where I wish you had written me before you put your wife's name on the deed of your house and before you commingled your bank accounts. All right? You commingled your bank accounts and you put your wife's name on the deed. And you live in a community property state. Again, like I said before, no estate, no date. All right? I'm not being mean. I'm not being malicious. What I'm simply saying is protect your assets so you don't have to write into Market Watch to ask, what can I do? Hey, boo boo, what can I do? A Scooby Dooby Doo. Nothing. Nothing. All right, so let's get into it. It says for everyone else, it serves as a cautionary tale. Your wife is entitled to half of your home and half of your commingled funds. We got one account. That's what we do. We married. We got one account. That's what we do. We married. We trust each other. It's all love. This is why y'all don't get it. This is why it don't work. You don't need to have the oh baby when that oh baby when it's time to get divorced. Oh baby. Oh baby. You commingle fun. He made 200, she made 78. Flip it. You as the woman, you make 200, he make 40. Divorce, give me half. No estate, no date. That's all I'm saying. Protect your assets. Well, what if you got that money while y'all was married? That's different. Y'all earned that while y'all was married. He had this house before they got married. On the wings of love, hoping the two of us, the only way to fly. High, high above the wings of love. He had that Jeffrey Osborne hit him. He let that Jeffrey Osborne hit him. He was out there on the wings of love. He was out there floating. He was out there floating. She is entitled to have for that. And if the shoe was on the other foot, he would be too, right? I thought this was a great article to show you need to look at the laws of the state. You also that's that Jeffrey Osborne. Wings of Love is Jeffrey Osborne. That you have to look at the state. You got to look at the laws. You need to protect your assets. This is why I keep encouraging you to protect your money. If you are going to go into a relationship, and this for men and women, this ain't just for women. This ain't just for men. This is for both of y'all. And whatever you identify with, right? If you identify as they, him, her, Konnichiwa, whatever it is, this is for all of you. Protect your assets. Go get you a not necessarily a prenup, but put your stuff into an estate. Right? Put your stuff into an estate. Go put your stuff into a trust. Protect your stuff. Protect your assets. You have built this wealth. You have worked to build this wealth before you get there. Now, I'm not saying that you can't share your wealth with your person. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you want to put your stuff into a safe space for yourself and for your family. You want to leave something for your family. This man he probably got to sell this house. He got to sell his house so she can get that proceeds. She's gonna have to sell that because she's gonna want her money. She's gonna want her money. All I'm saying is protect yourself. Let's get back to it. He said your wife is entitled to half of your home and half of your commingle funds in the event that you divorce. Talk to a family attorney and give them the lay of the land. Your wife is on the deed, making her co-owner. It's not something that can be undone without your wife's consent, and it seems unlikely from everything you have said that she would do. If she were on the loan but not on the deed, we will be having a different conversation. If she was on the loan and not on the deed, hear that? You hear that? If she was on the loan and not on the deed. So ladies, you be like, oh, we all out here. I'm all on the loan, but I ain't on the deed. Fellas, you move in with her. You on the loan, but you ain't on the deed, my guy. Different kind of conversation. What I'm telling you is go do your due diligence on what the laws are, what you can do to protect your assets, and what you can do together. Whatever you build together, this is my philosophy. Whatever we build together, fine, we're going to split it. But what I got before I get to you, nah, bruh, that's mine. Whatever he got before he get to me, nah. I don't even want them headaches. Go take care of that. I don't even want it. I don't even want to be bothered. I don't even want to go to court because I want to be like Tom Brady and his wife. They was divorced in 2 weeks. We already got this, bruh. It's already there. I want to be done. Right? So it also says that being on the loan rather than being on the deed presented different complications for this divorce man. Oh, we should look at that. It said California is a community property state, and anything acquired during the marriage is considered community and marital property and typically split 50-50. Assets acquired before the marriage are considered separate property, but your wife, for example, is entitled to 50% of acquired value during your marriage. In order to get that out, he gonna have to either take the equity out the house and give it to her, or he gonna have to sell it. That said, splitting assets 50-50 is not always straightforward. Valuing some of the types of assets can take time. Commingling can make it more challenging to determine who is entitled to what, and if one spouse tries to conceal community property to avoid division, forensic accountants may have to get involved. Given the disparity in your incomes, listen to the key words that person that wrote the article is using. Given the disparity in your incomes, it is clear your wife would not have been able to afford this home on her own. It is hard to know what goes on inside a relationship, and we can never fully understand what goes on inside another person's mind when it comes to romance and finance. A smart divorce attorney will be able to advise you on negotiation power and leverage you may use. I do have some questions though. How dramatic and sudden was the change in your wife's behavior? Did she suggest that you put her name on the deed and commingle your accounts? Only you know whether the relationship is salvageable. But if you're unhappy and you may not wish to subscribe to the sunk cost fallacy, a divorce would be more costly 10 years from now. It's a tough break and a lesson to people everywhere to be careful about protecting their assets, especially when someone who they may have married in haste. Romance and emotions aside, 6 months or even a year is typically not long enough to get to know someone. And even if you do take 2 or 3 years, I mean, we can look at Wendy Williams as an example for that, right? She was out there on the wings of love, hoping the two. Yep, she was out there. She was like, he my man, he mine, And Mr. Hunter was like, I'm yours and hers and hers. And since we already got this money together, let me get that and go buy her a house. She need a Bentley. She need a baby. She need me. I'm just saying, right? People have to behave according with what their wants and needs are. You have learned that and can easily cause a costly lesson. All right. So pet T, that's right. No, the article didn't mention anything about their ages. The difference in rich people divorce and poor people divorce is yeah. So being civil and being violent. All right. Let's look at that one little article that they had a link to. Let's go look and see what it. She and I don't care for each other at all. My husband's ex-wife put his name on the mortgage of their home, but not on the deed. What can we do? His ex-wife is a snake in the grass. Do y'all want to read this? Do y'all want to read the snake in the grass? Y'all want to read the snake in the grass? Y'all want to read? And then one of those movies, in that what's that? What they were talking about? Gamma 5? When they want that Gamma 5? What movie was that? What movie? What is that? Was that I think that might have been one of them. Or one of them. It was one of them movies where they was walking around in the movie. They was like Gamma 5, Gamma, whatever that is, whatever they was doing. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get into the snake in the grass. So the first article we learned: protect your assets, right? Just like Miss Phoenix 91 said, protect your assets at all costs. And also, we met your daughter. I hope your daughter sent you the picture and everything, Miss Phoenix. We met your daughter. But protect, it was school days. That's what I thought it was, school days. Protect your assets at all costs, right? Co-mingling funds, putting your money into one account. Say your husband is making 500, you making 40,000. You get half of that in a community property state. But let's say if the tables is turned, ladies, you are making 500 and he is making 40. You decide that you don't want to be with him anymore because he is like, hey, look, babe, I ain't never going back to work. This it. This is the life. Bonbons and Top Gun or whatever, right? So he's at home. And you're like, hey, I'm tired of it. You don't even keep the house clean. Like, the least you can do is do that, right? So same rules apply. All right. You need to understand that you, my friend, are going to be on this journey to divorce court of giving up half. All right. Child support as well too. You need to look at the rules of child support as well too, right? What does that look like for you and all your assets that you all acquire and the assets that you have acquired before that, right? Just throwing it out there. All right, let's get into it. How do I protect myself? God forbid something happened to my husband. All right, cool. I am in a 15 relationship and we have been married for 5 years. So that means they were dating for 10 and married for 5. When my husband bought his house, his ex-wife did the paperwork. He was on the loan, but not the deed. We're seeing an attorney next week to find out what has to be done to get her name off the deed to the house and get it into my husband's name. She and I don't care for each other at all. How do I protect myself? Number one, should have never got into that situation. Let's start there. You should have asked questions prior to that. It's a little late. You just, what I don't even have one over here. Yeah, I do. I got one over here. This is what she did. She like, girl, he got a house. Girl, he got a house. And go trippy trapped over there. Girl, I'm going over to his house. I'm going to go stay with him. Girl, let me take my stuff. Girl, that's what happened. She trippy trapped over there. And didn't know what the situ, as my mom say, what the situation is. Right? She said, now they married. His name ain't on the deed. The ex-wife name is on the deed. He got a mortgage and no home. Petty D strikes again. Petty D strikes. He got what you think? He got a house. He got a car. Good job. He a bad bra. If we all sit out, he got a mortgage. Right? So it says, God forbid something happens to my husband. His ex-wife is a snake in the grass, and there's no telling what he has signed without knowing what he did. Why he don't know what he did? Why he don't know? Oh Lord, I say this all the time, and I've been saying this too, right? Everybody want to be a king or a king, but don't know what it means to be a king or a king, right? You don't even know what's going on. Dear second wife. She didn't say wife. She said, dear second wife. The person who rebutted this is Petty too. So this is Petty Papa Tea time. Petty Papa Tea time. Dear second wife. Dear second wife. Much would depend on the state your husband and his ex-wife lived in, and whether she/they purchased the home before or after their marriage. If they purchased it during their marriage, the home would likely have to be considered community or marital property during the divorce. However, concerning that so much time has passed and your husband has not taken any actions to remedy this dilemma, I'm just out here living. I got this house. What's going on, Sir Hell? We're going over, this is Petty Tea time, Sir Hell. I know you like to be petty on your show, Sir Hill. So welcome to Petty Tea Time. Petty Tea. This is Petty Poppin' Tea Time. All right. This is what they say, right? They say however, if concerning that so much time has passed and your husband has not taken action, and this is another thing y'all gotta get in y'all minds when y'all out here dating. Just because y'all been away from these people for 15 years, y'all married, but you ain't slept with them and seen them in 15 years, that don't mean you ain't married. You are still married, and you need to still find out who got what and who name. Do y'all still have a joint bank account together somewhere that somebody forgot about? Do y'all still have some paperwork or something? Do she still have an insurance policy on him that she faithfully pays for? In the fact that he passes away, she still, ooh, he dead. Look at her. Look at God. Throw it up, throw it up. What did I fall off? Throw it up, throw it up. That's all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. Y'all need to go do your due diligence. Due diligence on these people. Yeah, she making 500K, he making 40K. She want a baby. I mean, he gonna get half in the divorce. It's a win-win, right? She said so much time has passed. Your husband didn't remedy this dilemma. Assuming they did not deal with this property in the divorce, he has taken a passive role in the real estate transaction. Again, in his mind, he's like, I got the house. I pay the bills. I'm the man. But your name ain't on the deed, bruh. It ain't on the deed, right? In New York, like many states, the divorce court would divide the marital property while separate property purchased before their marriage will remain the sole property of that purchaser. Given the alleged sleight of hand, it seems more likely that the ex signed these documents prior to their marriage. If your husband's name is on the mortgage but not on the deed of the property, and the house was bought prior to their marriage, he is technically a co-signer on the mortgage, but not a co-owner of the property. It's a bad place to be in. Your husband and everyone else should read documents before signing. I'm going to read that again. If your husband's name is on the mortgage, but not on the deed of the property, and the house was bought prior to their marriage, he is technically a co-signer on the mortgage, but not co-owner of the property. She all up in there probably help pay bills too. You done called this lady a snake in the grass. So now if she later read this article or find out about it, she'll be like, give me my house back. In fact, get up out of there. What you gonna do? Right? It's a bad place to be in. Your husband and everyone else shall always read the documents. In New York, like many states, the divorce court will divide the marital property while separate property purchased before their marriage will remain the sole separate property of the purchaser. I have received many letters from people in similar situations. This letter writer said that her husband claimed that he was afraid that she would divorce him if he put her name on the deed of the home he purchased before they were married. Put it in a trust. And they have been married for 3 decades. They've been married for 30 years. He afraid to put, Lord Jesus, woo, give me back my stuff. I received many letters from people in similar situations. Let me click on that, but that's another article. Let me look. My husband said he's afraid I would divorce him if he adds my name to the deed after 29 years of marriage. How do I convince him to put my name on the deed of our home? Oh, Lord Jesus, let me get back over here. Y'all out here wilding. Right? So it says in another tale with a different twist, this woman said her estranged husband was on the deed and not the mortgage. And she, surprise, surprise, has been the one paying the mortgage all these years. And in her retelling, it seems like she was tricked into making a fateful decision. As I said, your husband's case has many unknowns that will determine the outcome, including whether the divorce decree even mentions this property. It's a cautionary tale as you recounted. It's difficult to believe your husband and believed he had purchased a home without being on the title deed. I don't want to see your mortgage payment. Show me the deed with your name on it. Right? Show me the deed. Right? That's right, D. The lady is the landlord. The ex-wife is the land. She a snake in the grass. She's a slumlord. Right? All right. One more. You know, I can go down the rabbit hole on these. These funny to me. These are funny to me. All right. Let me know. Drop a one in the comments if y'all find these petty and funny. Petty and funny. Drop a one and I find them petty and funny. He knew that property wasn't in that divorce. He knew that. He knew sitting down at the table when they was dividing things up. He knew he wasn't gonna get that. She didn't want to be bothered with him no more. She said, I'm up out of here. Keep that home, my God. Your name ain't on the deed. But pay that rent, though. Pay that mortgage, though. I'm gonna go get me a new joint. You take care of that. I got rental income. He out here telling baby girl, I got a home. Hey girl. He over here singing Kim to her. Hey girl. He over here singing Kim to her. Hey girl. He over there talking about, hey girl, I got a place for you, blah, 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 blah. Hey girl. He over here singing Anthony Hamilton. What's the one? And the point of it all, I love you. She's like, I love you. He over there singing to her. And the ex-wife over there was like, I love you too. Pay that mortgage. Keep that house up. They practically in an apartment. They're practically in a department, as Madea would say. Right? Yeah, you eating and sleeping in your ex-wife rental and she laughing behind his back. Exactly. Yeah. She chilling. Long as you make the payments, I'm good. It's rental income for me. Make the property value go up. The ex-wife is not a snake. She's smart. She's smart. He foolish. He ain't a good. He didn't even read the paperwork. So we can go ahead. Let's go ahead and put it all out there. He ain't financially savvy. Let's go on and say that. Can you agree to that? Can you agree that the ex-husband was not financially savvy? Let's analyze the woman that he dealing with. She ain't smart either. Cause she done rolled up over there and hopped in this house with this man. First off, you moving in the house with a man was in there with another woman who he was married to. I don't even do that. Dia tell you all day long. I don't even do that. I don't even want to be in the same bed where you done. No, I don't want to move in none of that. We're gonna get our own new spot. I don't care how big it is. I don't care if it's a palatial estate. I don't care. I don't want to be bothered with it. Give me something new. I want my own. I want to put my own stuff on it. I want to put my own sprinkle on it. No, I ain't doing that. Right? So the woman that he with wasn't smart either, because they've been together 10 years and married for 5. She didn't even do her due diligence. She just went in. Well, he got a place, and I've been going over there. Ain't no need of us having 2 spots. Well, I could come over here and help him with the bills, and I can come over here and help him do his thing over here, and we could be together and have a family. I hope she ain't got kids by him, because he ain't got nothing to leave his kids. How about that? Put that in perspective. He ain't leaving his kids nothing. Put that in perspective. The kids don't even get nothing, right? All the kids gonna get is a mortgage. All the kids gonna get is a mortgage. This is the honest truth. I'm just putting it out there. Y'all be out here dipping and diving and skipping, like they say in what you call it, dipping and diving, falling in love and shit. Hey, you gotta do your due diligence, right? Do your and another thing, when people been married, check to make sure they got a divorce decree. Don't be like, yo, yeah, they just married. No, I want to see the divorce decree. Yeah. In divorce decrees, public information. Can't you look those up? That's public information. Because some people get smart with you and go make you one and then give it to you and really don't be divorced. Just saying. People tell you a whole bunch of lies. Right? So let's get into it. My husband said he's afraid I'll divorce him if he adds my name to the deed after 29 years of marriage. How do I convince him to put my name on the deed to our home? First off, how did this home occur? I haven't read this article yet. I just clicked on it. They are sister wives. They are sister wives. One sister wife is winning though. Right? So let's get into it. I've been by his side through several medical issues and 2 bouts of extended unemployment. Let me guess. She been paying the mortgage too. She ain't even on the deed. Now, is this what y'all doing out here in these streets? This how y'all loving? Yeah, he got that nurse with a purse. That's right. He got him a hospice wife, as they call it. Let's get into it. I recently found out that New York is not a community property state. I had thought it was for 3 decades of our marriage. You ain't never stopped to look that up. I am not on the deed of the house I've been living in for the past 29 years. This house was purchased while I was engaged, 6 months before I was married. My husband contributed the down payment of $60,000. At the time, it was decided to put only my husband's name on the deed due to the $85,000 student loan debt. I graduated from dental school 1 year prior to the home purchase. My husband to be also convinced me that having a house in my name only would protect us from malpractice lawsuits I may incur during my career. Child, baby, sweets, baby Jesus, you didn't go to a lawyer? Y'all out here living. Yeah, y'all ain't living the glamorous life. Y'all living the gullible life. What in the fraganac foolishness? Put your practice should have insurance. And it should be separate in the LLC. What the hell? These cautionary tales are a trip. Hey, but this right here is damn ridiculous. And now you done been with him for 30 years, and he done been unemployed, unextended, and he talking about, I don't want to put you on there. Oh, y'all are scandalous. Scandalous. Oh God. Well, here we are, 29 years later, and 3 children. And the house is still only in my husband's name. I thought that since we were a married couple, I will also have a claim to the house. I was wrong. My husband had a stroke 5 years ago, and then I became fearful of losing my home. He recovered, but there is always a fear of reoccurrence. My lawyer told us I would inherit the house in event there was no will, but we have to go through probate to validate this at a cost of 20,000. My husband said he is afraid I would divorce him. So that means you've been treating her shitty. If you feel like that, right? My husband is afraid I would divorce him if he adds my name to the deed. After 29 years of marriage, I have been by his side through several medical issues, 2 bouts of an understanding employment. I made my vow and I plan to keep my vow. I have worked throughout our marriage, part time at first, but now I make double of what he makes. We have always had a joint bank account, commingling. I am afraid that if my husband was has another medical issue and requires care outside of the home, the house that my children and I will call home will be in jeopardy. I will also like to avoid the cost of the effort of probate if it should if he should predecease me. My husband is 65, I am 57. He is in fair health and my family has a history of longevity. Mm, that's a lot. That 10 years is a lot to me. I'm only 3 or 4 years, but y'all like them old. Y'all like them old. Y'all like them elderly. Y'all like them with being gay. I don't want them with being gay. Y'all like them old. What is my actual state of ownership in this home, and how should I proceed in convincing my husband to add me to the deed? I have told him that I deserve to and will own a home. If it is not the home we live in, then I'm going to go buy myself a house. This house would be an investment with one of my children to help them remain in New York. One positive point is that I would be first time home buyer and may qualify for incentives. I have worked so hard in my life and given so much to my family. I feel that I deserve to own a home in my lifetime. My main fear is losing my home if my husband needs long term care in a facility and the government seizes the home. Why a husband is so difficult. Now listen to how she put this one. Sincerely, devoted, fearful wife, dear, and then she put right here, dear, devoted, and fearful. She was nice, or the person that was doing this was nice, right? The last one she wasn't so nice. Second wife. This one's petty. My first takeaway from your letter is you used the word fear or a derivative of those words 4 times. You even made it a part of your sign off. There's a lot in your letter about what happened but has not actually happened, including the unlikely prospect that you would lose your home due to your husband's medical issues. It's important to separate what ifs from what is. Medical bills and credit card bills are unsecured debt. Your home is secured debt. A worst case scenario is possible, but unlikely in your situation, at least at this point. While it's important to plan ahead for medical issues, going down this rabbit hole would not serve you. New York lawyers introduced a bill last year that protect patients from hospitals placing a lien on the patient's homes, right? So those in New York understand there was a bill introduced last year that protect patients from the hospitals placing a lien on your home. It does happen, unfortunately. The Community Service Society released a report last November concluding that between 2017 and 2018, 56 hospitals imposed 4,800 liens on homes of their patients with unpaid medical bills, collecting over $442 million in state funds, right, to support their provision of uncompensated care. It's called the indigent care pool. You're correct in that the property purchased before your marriage is regarded as separate property in New York, which is not community property state. Regardless, this home you bought prior to your marriage, if your husband predeceases you without a will, you as a spouse will receive the first 50,000 and 50,000 and half of your husband's estate and the rest among your children. Right? She recommends a lawyer. The short answer is that you would not inherit 100% of the property if the deed is in your husband's name alone. If there exists a will or some testamentary substitute that leaves you out entirely, then you have two options here. Exercise your right of election on your husband's estates left to others to attain a third of his estate to be reduced by the estate that she does not inherit from her husband, or contest the will or testamentary substitute in order to try and recover more than half of the third under the New York's right of election statute by 50%, but 50% of the intestacy laws by trying to knock out the will or testamentary substitute. If your husband is afraid that you would divorce him, he could leave you the house in his will. Alternatively, if he could also give you a life estate to live in the home after he passes, or put the property in a revocable living trust that will help allay his concerns about the divorce. It's not an ideal solution, especially given that you've been together for 3 decades and share 3 children. I can't help but feeling that the fact that your husband purchased this house with his own money before you were married, using the somewhat flimsy excuse that you could be sued for medical malpractice in your career as a reason not to put you on a mortgage or the deed, was a red herring. Rather, this house seems to be a vessel for his own fears and insecurities. The cost of probate depends on a myriad of factors, including the size of the estate and whether the probate is contested. If it could cost you $10,000 or more. It's an unusual and unfortunate situation given your husband's health and resistance to listen to your concerns. Perhaps if you approach this as a family to explain that you're all on the same page, he will listen. I don't know if you can sue your husband for something like this. I don't know. But this is another cautionary tale for you all out there that are looking to put your name to be with someone and you don't have your name. And I see these floating around on YouTube, these shorts and on YouTube and on Instagram. It's when y'all get married, instead of you putting both of y'all names on the deed, you just put one on there so you can use her credit or your credit to go purchase another property. And then what happens then, I see all of that, right? I see that, right? But here's the question. Why can't you and this person have a home where y'all claim together? Work up enough income so that way y'all create an LLC and then let that LLC go buy that new property, right? I understand you got to have somebody to guarantee the loan and all of that stuff. But again, I'm just looking at the fact that I see these things out here that are being, talked about online. But then y'all come here and you read these letters and you see their name ain't on the deed, but you're on the mortgage, right? You paying rent, but you don't own nothing. So you might as well have been in an apartment all this time for 30 years, right? Evelyn says, I knew someone convinced his wife to have his name only because of the short credit history and lower score and not try to help increase before closing on the property. Yeah. Right? So I'm just putting this out here for y'all to understand, protect your assets, make investments with your money on different accounts and so forth. Whether it's a municipal bond, whether where it's tax exempt, where you're going to do an I bond, whether you're going to invest into the stock market, where you're investing in kings or aristocrats. Make sure you understand what you're investing into. When I say make sure you understand what you're investing into, we're talking about products and we're talking about people. You invest in people as well too. You invest in people that you're in relationships with and that you want to marry. You need to do your due diligence. Make sure that person is willing to have that conversation. Like, I want to be on the deed, right? Oh, okay, cool. I don't think I want you on the deed. You don't need to be on the deed, babe. I got this. I got this. You don't worry about your credit. I got this, right? And not knowing what that means down the line. Make sure people are divorced. Go look up the divorce decree, right? Go look that up, right? Um, y'all need to make sure you're protecting yourselves, men and women. This ain't just about women. This is men and women. Because you get in these situations. We read 3 different articles. This one right here, California. The name, he added her to the deed, community property. They co-mingle accounts. So boo boo handed up. Shaboop did it, shaboop did it, boop boop boop. All right, give it up. This one here. She and I don't care for each other. My husband's ex-wife put his name on the mortgage of their home, but not on the deed. She ain't pay attention. She ain't know. He ain't got nothing. He don't have nothing. You don't either. And I said it just how I meant it. She ain't got, and he ain't either. That's what I said. What I said. She ain't got shit, and he ain't got shit. I said what I said. Right? And then we saw this one where they've been married for 30 years. And what I'm telling y'all is y'all need to go out here and make sure you are protecting your assets. If you bought a house before you married that person, put it in a trust. Put it in a trust. When y'all get married, because, again, this is another thing. And I get it, fellas. I get you. I got you. I want to make sure I got everything I need. Yeah, as me and D talk about it, y'all men like the nest. Y'all like the nest. Let me get a house. You be having fine china and clocks and shit in the house and all that, and all this other stuff, looking like your grandmama house with with their vinyl furniture cover, them vinyl covers on it. Let me see if I can find one. Let's see. Yeah, y'all house be looking like this. You know how you used to go over somebody? How D pull it up? Y'all used to go over your auntie and them house back in the day. I know I used to go over my auntie house back in the day. Y'all got this vinyl sitting on top of it, and you be sitting in there, and it be 90 degrees outside, and it just be sweating. Everything on you just be sweating. You every time you move on, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Furniture covered in vinyl. Look right here. This is the perfect one right here. This is the perfect right here. This is perfect. Look at that vinyl covering on it, protecting the furniture. Look at that. Right? So y'all be out here with all this stuff, right? Y'all go out here and you acquire all these assets, fellas. And y'all go out here and you work hard. And then you complain about it when you get married and a possible divorce, that she gonna take half when you could have did what you were supposed to do but prior to that. Put your stuff in a trust, right? Protect your assets. Now, if you got another home that you want her to have and stuff like that, then that's cool, right? But ladies, this is the same thing. The same rule apply for you. Some of y'all have these condos and houses, and then you like, "Ooh, I'm tired of paying bills. I want him to move in." And he move in, and depending on the state and how long he been there, y'all saw the guy talking about, I went and got a card and put it in her address name, so now she can't kick me out. I got 30 days because he getting mail there. Then y'all be wanting to have these people's, he over here on the extended stay. Extended stay my ass. Now you can't get him out. You can't get him out. You can't get her out. People go through your credit. People go through your stuff, and then they'll get a credit card delivered in your name, his name. And then y'all sitting up here looking like, what happened was the credit people don't want to care. They don't care nothing about that. They be like, you be like, hello? They be like, this is Shirley. This is Shirley. This is Shirley. You owe. I owe. I owe. It's off to work you go. Right? All I'm simply saying to you is protect your assets. The money that you make it make money. If you want to be conservative, I've been showing you for 2 weeks how to be conservative. I've been showing you about money market accounts and bonds and muni bonds and just really simple little onesie twosie things that you can do, right? Conservative. I know you want to protect your money, so be conservative. Right? The next thing is know who the hell you sleeping with. How the hell she didn't know out of 15 years this man didn't own this home? But I tell you how she didn't know. I'm gonna tell you how. I'm going to go live with him, girl. I'm going to go live with him. I'm going to go live with him. Yup. I ain't gotta be here in this apartment. My baby got a nice home. He all up there at Worth. He all up there in Midtown, girl. Yeah, Bay got a nice little place, nice little estate, big backyard. That he don't own. That he don't own, and neither do you. Your best bet is for y'all to move out and go find your own place. Now, the question is, who got good credit? That's the question. I don't even think she was priced out of the neighborhood. I guarantee you she was staying somewhere else and moved in. You said Tam and D. Put that up, D. Engineering cannabis. Tam and D, y'all don't want a boo thing to commingle bank accounts? No. He got his own, I got my own, and the LLC got his own. He ain't gotta have his bank account with me. Listen, these are facts here. Just because y'all got a joint bank account together don't mean he don't have another account where he can go cipher off money to. Having a joint bank account don't mean nothing. We want to believe that. Oh no, he loves me and he would never cheat on me. And cheating comes in different forms. And I'm not talking about a physical cheat with another woman. I'm talking about cheating as in if he say he is going to the store to buy X, Y, and Z, and he go to the store and buy all these other things. And maybe don't even tell you that he bought these things. Maybe he do have a shoe fetish, right? Maybe he do have a warehouse of shoes you don't know about, right? Those things do happen. People do live like that. People do hide things from people. It's just what it is. You got to ask, what's your tolerance level? What's your risk level? What's your risk level? It happens. Evelyn said she was priced out the market. No, then you said he got a bank account with each girl. Could be. He could have a bank account with each girl. Hey, girl. You asked me where do I find these at on Money Market Watch. I come here every week and look up stuff. Right. Let me show you this one. I was gonna wait to bring this one up. This is a good one. He was infatuated with her. My brother had a drinking problem and took his own life. He left $6 million to his former girlfriend who used to buy him alcohol. My brother was obsessed with getting her back. Last year, my older brother took his own life after living with depression. My brother misused alcohol as well. I moved away in my 20s, which allowed me to grow and learn and be an adult. My brother really had no real life skills. Over the year, he was coddled by our adopted parents. They did what they thought was best, but in the end, it hindered him as he let them take care of him until my mother passed in 2017 and my father died in December. During our parents' later years, they quit traveling to take care of my brother who would drink alcohol and fall. They were afraid they'd come home and find him dead, so they stopped seeing my family and me as often as they would have liked. His his former girlfriend visited my parents. As my parents grew older, a former girlfriend of my brother visited my parents and helped them with their errands. My brother was infatuated in her and obsessed with getting her back. She would say no, but it was always on his mind. After my dad passed, a friend called the police to do a welfare check on my brother. He was out cold. The doctor told him that he needed to change his ways or he would be dead in 6 months. I discovered his female friend bought him vodka. At the end of September, he took his own life. His former girlfriend inherited a seven-figure estate. She told me that he talked many times about suicide, and I would have removed the guns from the house had I known if he owned any. He taught her how to trade stocks. She also said that he talked to her about stocks to show her how to trade. I suspected that she knew the value of his estate. In a letter written in May 2021, he said, "Should I get the family home and a portion of his large bank account?" Unfortunately, my brother didn't understand that this note wasn't legal binding. Whoa! Juicy. Juicy. Right? My brother didn't understand that this note wasn't legal or binding, and there was no witness to it. I asked for my father's portion of the estate, which adds up to 2 million out of the 6 million. I'm willing to take 1.5 million. I suspect there's some other intent here that she played the long game. She's been very hesitant about giving me anything. She said she could honor my parents by not blowing it. I said, "You could honor them by giving me what I asked for." Should I bring this to the attention of the police? They still have his suicide notes. He left around a dozen around the house. It's really sad that he said, she said situation, and I had no proof she kept anything from me. Could I sue for negligence? Negligence. What are y'all thoughts on this? There's a ton of these stories that I read all the time. It's a ton of these stories that I read all the time. Who you sleep with may not be sleeping with you the way you think they are, right? Do y'all want to hear what was said next? Put a one in the chat. Y'all want to hear what the author had to respond back with? Let me know. Let me know. Put a one in the chat. Let me know. Who get married? Who get married out here? Put an M in the chat if you gonna get married. D, you better put an M in the chat. D, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, looking at me. D, you better put an M in the chat. D turned the camera off. Wayne Wallace, you ain't getting married. You in Mexico. Natasha, you ain't getting married. Is this the I ain't getting married crew? Y'all ain't getting married. Is this I'm not getting married crew? D, come back. Y'all ain't getting married. DB Darrell, yes, there you go. Put that. I want to see some M's. But DB Darrell, aren't you already married? So you really don't count if you already married. Natasha Jim, are you married already? Heather G, you said is bad asset protection. Go to protect your assets from misleading. D, you crazy. What a string y'all. Drop the link, D. Drop the link, D. Drop the link, D. Miss Phoenix, you coming up? Drop the link, D. I got time for you today. I got time today. D gonna drop the link. All I'm saying is, y'all who out here, y'all better get a you better make sure you get some type of protection. D drop the link, Miss Phoenix, for you. If you got questions, come on up, Miss Phoenix. Come on up. You say you got questions. Hopefully, I got some answers for you. DB Darrell, you said I heard there's treacherous out here, out there in them single streets. I don't know. I don't know. I'll be at home. You know what I be doing? These streams and collecting information and providing the best information I know how. All right, let's get to it while D dropped the link. Let's get into it. Dear grieving and confused, I'm sorry. I'm sorry your brother had such a hard life. I'm sorry that he tried so hard to get sober and fell off the wagon. And I'm sorry that he thought there was no way out and took his life, especially in such a manner. His world got smaller and he felt his options were limited. He invited his former girlfriend into his life, and she may or may not have provided him with the companionship that he needed or enabled his drinking. We will probably never know. For your brother's will to be valid, it must be signed by two witnesses in most states, and they should not stand to inherit anything from that estate. The law varies state by state. Generally, a will can be contested on one of three grounds: lack of testamentary capacity, undue influence from a third party, or improper execution. The latter is often the easiest and the most common way a will is contested and or overturned. But you may have grounds on the first two. Contesting the will likely be expensive and be an ordeal or for you, of course, or his former girlfriend. All right, here we go. Charlotte, we got Charlotte back there. Well, Charlotte, where you at? I don't even see you. Well, see the water. No, there you are.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? What you got?
Good. Okay, so I got questions. So my husband and I are old school. You know, we came about the mud together, so to speak, and we've been married over 27 years. What's the best advice we can give for our daughter, who most likely, when she finds the right mate for her, he may not be earning the same amount as her. She's running her own business.
So
he may not be running his own business.
So I got a question for you before you get to her. What do you have in place to leave her where? And if you got other kids, what do you have in place for protection so you make sure that things don't go to probate court and things go to her?
Well, she's the only child. We have a will. We have a it's called a springing power of attorney for financial and health and health as well. My husband and I for one another, and we've got numerous insurance policies.
Right. So
So
I will roll. This is not financial advice.
right.
This is what I have been doing myself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is looking at putting all my stuff into a trust, and then you can have your will under that. Right. And the only reason why I'm saying this to you is again,
Mm-hmm.
family members.
Yep.
People act different in death. Right?
Right.
Siblings act different in death. Cousins act
Mm-hmm.
different in death. So that's just to protect her, right? And protect whoever else
Right.
you want to protect. The other piece is for her business, any assets that she gains or has
Mm-hmm.
gained prior to being in a situation with a guy, she needs to get with a lawyer and she needs to look at either setting her stuff up in a trust or she needs to get a prenup if they decide to
Yeah.
marry. Now the other thing
Okay.
is too is and people do this all the time. People
Mm-hmm.
go into relationships and they date and they move in with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they move in with each other. You laughing, but it's
Right.
true. They move in with each
No,
other.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they got the same bank account, but they ain't married. They ain't legally married.
Right.
Right. So she needs to be mindful of that as well, too. Because now
Mm-hmm.
you see from here, she's commingling bank accounts.
Yeah.
And depending on where they decide to live and stay, she got to have protection for herself. And he need to protect himself.
Right.
Right. So that's a discussion that you should have with her and she should have with him. And it shouldn't be a discussion where he's like want to, be like, well, what you
Mm-hmm.
talking about? That shouldn't even come across his mind. He should be happy that
Right.
he should too. Be happy that somebody wants you to protect yourself before we even go down this rabbit
Right.
hole.
Like my husband I had, he was very like, yeah, we need to get. I mean, we learned a lot of things kind of late,
Mm-hmm.
but once we found out that information, okay, here we need to do to make sure that we're protected.
Right.
It wasn't no, what you mean? Don't you trust me? It was okay. Which attorney we gonna get with
You're
so
right.
we can make this right?
It's not a matter of if I don't trust you or not. It's a matter of
Right.
we ain't gotta have no arguments. This is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where it's at. Here's who you need to contact. And even I did this stream months ago where it was, before someone passes and stuff, you need to write down the passwords and accounts and things where everything is at so you can get
Yeah,
access
we did that
to
too.
those.
Yep.
You need to have
Exactly.
that done too. Right. So
Yes.
it's a lot of things that go into this. And I'm not telling people not to get married. I'm just saying protect what you have before you get married. If it's something that you want to leave for a legacy for your family. Like if
Yes,
I
ma'am.
went and bought 5,000 acres of farmland for my
Mhm.
family, I want to leave that to my family. Now, what me and my guy do, that's different. I mean, that's what me and
Right.
him do. But what I do with my family ain't got nothing to do with him. That's for my
Right.
family. And then when he
Exactly.
come along and we gonna do something together, we're gonna do something together. If he want to do something with his family, that's his family. That's what he
Right.
want to do with his family. But me and him, that's something totally different. That's my opinion. That's how I look at. Everybody don't look at it like that. Everybody's like, we all family. So your 5,000 is my 5,000. His 5.
Mhm.
Not everybody look at it like that. I just look at it totally different. Call me selfish if you want to, but that's just I'm leaving it for my family members to do what they do because I don't even know you yet. I got this 5,000 10 years before I met you.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's all I'm saying. And DB Daryl and D, that's right. No estate, no date.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Well,
But
thank you, because we want
that
to
would
give
be
her that guidance, and we have her involved with the things that we're learning, so that she knows, this is the proper way and things like that. But it's a different world for her and her generation than it kind of was and it is for us.
Yeah, but it's
Um,
also but it's also not just it's not even it's different, but it's not. It's this
mhm.
we're just this generation, we're waking up to finances, right? We're waking up to
Right.
what it could be, what it is, right? Right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
having and what the options are to protect what you have. Like I go back and I look at my mom's generation. She's a boomer, and looking at
Mm-hmm.
asset protection and so forth. That they thought the mindset was you need to at least have $1 million to protect something when that's not true.
Right.
That's not true. You don't need $1 million to protect anything. You could own a piece of land that's $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
You need to protect that land. That's your land. That's your thing. So protection of your assets doesn't have a monetary value on it.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So and people get that confused, and so they just go without. Oh, I don't care about that. That ain't
Yeah.
nothing. It ain't nothing till
Mm-hmm.
you ain't got it.
Right. Right. Then it's too late.
Then it's too late. Yeah. So tell your daughter if she has a business, and if she tell her to go find a lawyer, walk her through it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down with
Yeah.
her and walk her through it. Through what are and let's be clear. Assets don't necessarily have to be just land. They could be intangible assets. It could be her business idea that is also an asset as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she needs to get with a lawyer to make sure that she's protected at all costs on them.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
huh? I'll get it for you in a second. Okay. Miss Tam, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You do
So
your
much.
thing. You do your thing.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, that's the other thing that people miss out on. Assets are not only just that. Assets can also be your IP. IP is an asset, right? Your IP is an asset. So I just want y'all to get that through your head what those things are. Um, Engineering Cameron, you said what the foundation of dating is love and trust. Your money is our money. Your investments is our investments. If that's what you believe. If that's what you believe. So I'm gonna pose this question, and everybody feel free to chime in on this one. I'm gonna pose this question. Let's go two different ways here. Um, you got a young lady. Um, she got a startup. The startup has been evaluated at 10 million. You meet this young lady. The startup has been around. It's on a Series C. It's been around 5 or 6 years. It's on a Series C. She has her house, her things, her assets. She has money put away, this, that, and other. She meet a guy. He not doing too bad. He got his assets. He ain't in the startup, but I mean he don't own the startup, but he making startup money. Let's say he making $1 million a year, right? They start living together, right? They start living together. They get a joint bank account together, right? And they live in California. They decide, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this house together. Right? Let's go ahead and get this house together. But we not married. We just gonna buy this house together. Now when it's all said and done, they got a joint account together. They live in California. He might have he might have uh given her some ideas about her company, some thoughts about her company. She's implemented them. They decide they want to split. What do you think should happen? Outside of contacting a lawyer. What is he entitled to and what is she entitled to? They in California. What do you think? Do he get half of what goes into that bank account with the commingling funds? What you think? Should he get half? Is he entitled to half? Do she need to pay him some money on that startup that she owns? What's common law in California, Dion? Is it 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years? Let's look it up. There's no common law marriage in California. This means if two people live together, there's no statute that confers the rights of married couples upon them. There are situations, also where where a couple believes they are married, but they in fact are not. Legal rights of unmarried couples living in California. Let's go through it. Couples who live together are not married fall under the category of cohabitation. The legal rights of cohabitating couples are very different than those that are married. The following are a brief overview brief overview that can help you understand the differences between the legal rights of those that are married and those who are not. For instance, and that looks a little blurry, blow it up a little bit. For instance, if the parties accidentally hired an officiant who was not legally allowed to marry people, they may not have had a legally binding ceremony. But in these cases, the law would not allow the flawed technicality to stop the marriage, and the couple would be considered married under the law. So now you need to go check to see if the person is legal, because y'all might be out here getting married by somebody who ain't legal. Donette, I got your comment, Donette. Donette said she's stupid for shacking up, commingling monies, not having him copyright his ideas, and not insisting on him marrying her. Just stupid. Where was her father? Where was the common sense, right? For instance, if the parties actually, finally, there is the concept of domestic partnership. A new law in the state of California allows any couple to apply for domestic partnership, which offers similar benefits to marriage under the law. It is important to note that domestic partnership arrangements in California are not federally recognized, and therefore couples may still have a difficult time sponsoring a non-citizen partner for citizenship, sharing federal employee benefits, or accessing the rights and the protections of a married couple. Finances. According to state of California, two people living together who are not married are two separate distinct individuals with respect to finances. No bank accounts, investments, or savings will be jointly owned. If anything is held jointly, it will be divided equally in the absence of any other legally recognized agreement. No alimony will be available to either party if the couple splits, either if there is a child or partner will be involved to the child. So they're going to split that money. Whatever's in that bank account, they're going to split it. So if she been putting more into it than him, he going to get half. Children. If two people are married and have children together, there are different laws that apply regarding child custody. Both parents will have equal rights regarding their child, but the decisions regarding the child custody and the child support will still need to be determined. In the cases of unmarried, unlike those that are married, for a child to receive child support or an inheritance, paternity must be established by agreement by an action such as a medical test. Property. If an unmarried couple owns a home or a substantial property together, it will be divided equally upon separation. Right? So this is where that trust comes into play, because you bought it and you roll it into a trust. And they're not going to touch that, right? If only one person is listed as an owner, but both partners have contributed payments the partner not listed on the property would need to seek legal counsel to attempt to claim part ownership in the property, and a court of law will make a final decision regarding the division of that property. Right? So I'm just giving y'all need to go through the laws of the states. The laws of the states where you decide to finally reside. Don't go willy-nilly and be like, oh, he love me, she love me. We just gonna get this house together, girl. That's it. Hey, girl. No. Y'all need to do some protection. Y'all need to look and see what your options are and how to protect yourselves, right? D, that is it for me for this show. I know you're not coming up on the next show. So I can work this show if I need to. The next show. I don't know what you got it scheduled for. Let me look. I know we went over the time. I think it was 3:30 for the next one. Let me look. Oh, you took it down? Oh no, you got it up. Oh, we can go on at 2. Give me the 2:30. Let me give me some water, and then I'll be ready. So can you make that 2:30? We'll be back about 45 minutes. What you call it? You didn't come up on the next show. I may bring some people up if we need to. But again, protect your assets. Go invest your money. We talked about kings, aristocrats. We talked about dividends, bonds, being conservative, and go from there. All right. Until then, I'll see y'all in about 45 minutes. Y'all be safe. I'm gonna get me a little something to eat and be ready to rock. All right.